Across the UK, online and on DAB.
We are Talk.
Talk Radio. Give it some lip.
Talk Radio.
Thank you, James. Thank you, Ash. Let's do it, shall we? We're going to kick off the show with Lou Adler. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he produced Carole King's Tapestry, amongst others. And then it's your phone calls. And as it's a Monday, of course, we do it every Monday. It's Ian's mum's Monday Mind Flip, where she asks you a question.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Some robbers, they don't need no knives or guns, baby. They come you where you are. Somebody's come and stole my blackbird drums, baby. You know they took them from my car. $30 drums, you don't get no back for me. They come steal my blackbird drum. Then they put them in their arms. Please be careful what you say, or the man will come and take you away. Watch out. Watch out for what you do. I think that they are looking for you. Yeah, yes they are.
True story. Those junkie bums. They took my drums. Guys, you know me. I don't need any excuse. Put them in their arms. I don't need any excuse to play tracks from the Wolf King of LA, the one of the great lost rock albums of all times, Mr. John Phillips, formerly of the Mamas and the Papas. It's an album of quite possibly some of the best songs that man ever wrote. And boy, oh boy, did he write some bloody good songs in his time. And, let's just say the John Phillips solo career did not go in the direction that he was expecting. It went in a completely different and at times rather sad direction, but it's a great album. Well, you know, there have been a lot of, with some of the guests we've had, there have been lots of kind of connecting themes. One of the connecting themes is always Cass Elliot. Always Cass Elliot. All the guests we've had have generally, I'd say about 80% of our guests have had a Cass Elliot story. One of the greatest voices in the world, her solo albums, sorely underrated. And this next guest that we've got, I'm sure he's got plenty of Cass Elliot stories, but he links up, with so many other guests we've had, remember we had Dean from Dean Torrance, Jan and Dean, so many guests, and I'm mumbling and I'm getting tongue-tied because I'm quite nervous. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Malibu, California, it's only Lou Adler. Lou Adler, sir. Good evening to you.
Good evening to you.
Can I say...
Thanks for having me, and thanks for all those nice words about John Phillips. I mean, he's certainly one of the better or best songwriters from that whole period.
Lou, listen, honestly, 15-year-old me, my bedroom was full of your stuff, even if I didn't realise at the time. I had Jan and Dean, I had the Mamas and the Papas, who didn't have a copy of Tapestry. Let's just talk about that John Phillips album. You produced it. What were those sessions like? Do you remember?
Sort of chaotic. I mean, it was a period in John's life when he had just sort of left Michelle, or Michelle left him, and those were some of his thoughts, and it was always difficult for John to be a lead vocalist.
Yeah.
He's such a fabulous arranger, much like Brian, Brian Wilson.
Yeah.
Maybe the two of them are the best vocal arrangers in the last 75 years. So he was sort of getting over that or getting through it, and it was chaotic.
And of course, that we all know, well, maybe not everyone does, but John's life, it got a lot more chaotic after that, unfortunately. That man was a genius, I think, and I don't bandy that word around too much. And as you mentioned, Brian Wilson, both men wasted a lot of time taking drugs, basically, because they were obviously troubled in many ways.
True, yeah. John wrote from the heart.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go back and go over the lyrics, it's always, and then you can place something that was happening in his life at that particular time. Go where you want to go.
Yeah.
Telling somebody who wants to go. He was just brilliant.
Do you remember the first time that the Mamas and the Papas rocked up at your offices, Lou?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the first time I saw them was actually in a recording studio.
Yeah.
I was recording an album with Barry McGuire, who I had a record I produced, Eva Destruction.
Of course, by the fantastic P.F. Sloan.
P.F. Sloan, correct. And we were doing the album, and Barry asked if I would listen to some friends of his that were coming down from San Francisco, and that turned out to be the Mamas and Papas. And John Phillips had a 12-string guitar, and they played me 4 or 5 songs, all of which ended up on the first album.
Yeah.
Just quickly, at that time when I auditioned anyone, I would close my eyes and listen to them because there was no video or anything, and you wanted to imagine what people would think when they heard it coming over the air.
Yeah.
So when I opened my eyes and I saw this group, which was amazing looking, and the sounds that came out of them, the first album title actually came to me, If You Can Believe Your Eyes and Ears.
Wow. And I'm just trying to imagine what it would be like in that room with, they had like California Dreamin' and stuff then, they had classics they were playing you.
Yeah, and Monday, and Go Where You Want to Go.
Jeez. Let's go back a bit, Lou. How did you get into the music business? What was kind of 14, 15-year-old Lou Adler up to?
Well, in school, in high school, and below that, I was always writing the class songs, the school songs, and fooling around with poetry. I sort of wanted to be a journalist.
Yeah.
And then through a couple of girls, Herb Alpert and I met. And Herb at that time, before being the Tijuana Brass, he was just sort of a bar mitzvah trumpet player.
Oh, fantastic.
And we just started writing together. He was the music and I was a lyricist.
Wow. Do you remember the first song? Was the first song any good?
The first song that was any good was called All of My Life.
Yeah.
And it ended up on a Sam Cooke album, actually.
Wow. You wrote a few songs did you write only 16?
Did I what?
Did you write Only 16?
No, that shows up all over the place.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Okay.
Well, then,
But I did, Herbie and I and Sam wrote Wonderful World.
Wow, incredible. We've had Dean Torrance on the show. I'm a big fan of Jan and Dean. I think, again, a fascinating story. Never really made it over here in the UK, but you kind of discovered those guys quite early on, didn't you?
Yes, I did, yes.
How did you...
You spoke to Dean Torrance. Right?
We had Dean on, a few months ago. What a gentleman he is.
He's one of the nicest fellows that ever was around. Yeah, he's a special guy.
He really is. He keeps emailing me saying, when are you going to come over and visit me? I was like, whoa, this is Dean from Jan and Dean is talking to me. How did you come across those guys, Lou?
Well, there was a character in Hollywood by the name of Kim Fowley. I don't know if you ever heard that.
Oh, man alive, Kim Fowley, of course. I believe rock and roll eccentric would be the polite term.
Yeah, and he sent Jan and Dean. It was Jan and Arnie for a while, and then he didn't want to be in the music business, so Jan got Dean to sing along with him and Kim Fowley sent him to me. We had just started a sort of a management production company, Herbie and I.
Yeah.
And, and they came in.
And Dunhill Records was the record label that you had the Mamas and the Papas signed to. Was that... Because there were a lot of big record companies at the time. Was it unusual for someone to say, right, I'm setting up my own independent record label?
Which, Dunhill?
Yeah.
No. Well, what was unusual about it?
Well, just because there were so many of the big record labels, like Columbia and Decca and Capitol. Was it unusual for us, for some people just to go, we're going to start a smaller label on our own?
Yeah, well, we started that, from the very beginning. Herbie and I started doing that instead of you couldn't get into the bigger labels at that time.
Yeah.
And there were only three when I started. There was RCA, Victor, Capitol, and Columbia.
Right.
And so I just got in the habit of starting my own label to put out the music that we were making. And Dunhill started shortly before the Mamas and Papas came on the label.
Yeah. And those Mamas and Papas sessions, I mean, Cass Elliott's voice, oh man alive. If I could never hear another voice again and it was just hers, I would die happy. What were those sessions like? Were they focused as a band?
Well, the sessions started late and went long.
Oh.
They were supposed to start around 8 o'clock at night, and they usually got started about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And then we'd go to 3 or 4 the next day.
Mm.
There'd be a lot of Crown Royal bags laying around. And they were interesting. And to me, who hadn't dealt with anything like the Mamas and Papas before on every level, the lower ones and the higher ones, it was interesting.
I bet it was. Listen, I've read all of the books by and about the Mamas and the Papas. I know how interesting it got. And you were being in LA at the time with the group, and with all of you were mixing with the elite. You mentioned Brian Wilson. You were mixing with these people. Did you realise at the time, Lou, just how magical LA in the 60s was?
No, I don't think you do until it's in retrospect. I knew from watching Brian and listening to Brian and that he was genius. He was very, very special. Both as a musician and vocally, and as a writer, and I was very friendly with him. You don't. They're your friends. You're not thinking about the future. You're thinking about the now at that point.
Yeah.
And in retrospect, you then find out just how magical the times were that you lived in.
You, of course, were part of the board, if I've got this right, on that put together the Monterey Pop Festival, quite possibly the first weekend-long pop festival. You had Simon and Garfunkel, I think the Byrds, the Buffalo Springfield, the Who, Jimi Hendrix's first big US gig, the Mamas and the Papas, and of course. Now, I've read a lot about Monterey Pop, Lou, and it sounded like it was a nightmare to put on.
No, it went pretty smoothly. Once again, you know, it was the first major rock festival.
Yeah.
And there were no rules, there were no regulations. We were sort of making them up as we went along. It only took us 7 weeks.
Wow.
It was 7 weeks from the time we decided that we were going to do it that it came to fruition. And everybody just bought in. Everyone was good about it. And the fact that it was for a charity, it took once you took the money off the table, the billing and the everything else didn't matter. The acts just wanted to play. Tell me when I'm playing and how long I'm playing. That's all they wanted to know.
I'm going to ask you one question that is quite a nerdy fanboy question, but I've never seen a sensible answer to this. Why did the Beach Boys pull out? Because they were scheduled to headline, weren't they?
Yeah, well, you know, I've never actually, it got too long or, you know, too late to really sit down and ask anyone. There were various reasons that came about at that time. The one about Carl's draft status and so-and-so being sick. But I think if I had to dissect it, it was Mike Love who made that decision. And the decision, I think, was based on him not thinking that the Beach Boys' music would fit in with the psychedelic groups that were going to perform there. That's the only reason that I can think was the truth.
Carole King's Tapestry, one of the greatest rock albums of all time. Just you know, I remember hearing it at the age of 15 and just sitting there going, oh my God, this is the perfect record. What do you remember about that, Lou? Which you produced, by the way.
I had worked with Carole King before that as a music publisher. So she would make demonstration records of her songs, and I would take those around to artists and managers and A&R people. And then I could never get those demos back. They loved the demos so much. So when we started thinking about recording, the idea, my thought was always try to keep them as simple as the demos that she had made, and always tie her to the piano in a sense, and keep that up front. So when you're listening to Tapestry, you have the feeling that Carole is playing and singing just to you.
It's a stunning record, and you're right, it's so easy. You hear so many records where they've thrown everything at it. You've got your synthesizers, you've got your strings.
I've made those too.
Oh, well, I'm sure you have, but the beauty of that record is that it is so sparse.
Yes, it is sparse, and you can hear everybody just in. I mean, it's corny to say, but just in tune.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone was just following Carole, and Carole did the arrangements. She did the background vocals, all except the ones that Mary Clayton did. I don't know if you know that name or not.
No, I'm not aware of that name. No.
If you want to know who she is, you play the Rolling Stones' "Gimme Shelter," and she's the voice.
Oh, no, do you know what? Yes, now you've said that, I know exactly who she is. Yeah, of course. Wow.
Yeah, and she did a lot of background work on Tapestry.
Have you had fun, Lou? Have you enjoyed your career? And I know, of course, you produced the Rocky Horror Picture Show, the movie. You've done movies, you've done albums, you've you know, you've been with actual groundbreakers, you've worked with geniuses, and that's not an exaggeration. You know, you've had a real career that's been blessed, I think. Have you enjoyed yourself?
I've enjoyed every minute of it. I mean, it's just been such a magic ride, you know. I was in the right place at the right time more than once, and it's been fabulous and phenomenal, you know, and mostly because, you know, if you get to work with talent like Sam Cooke, John Phillips, and Carole King, I mean, who could ask for anything more?
The reason you popped up in my consciousness is because I'm a huge Monkees fan, okay? Huge Monkees fan. And I'm friends on Facebook with, and I can never say the last name properly, Valerie is it Vanette? Is it a hard T? Nick Vanette.
Who is that?
You know Nick Vanette. Now, is it a hard T? Nick...
I knew him, yeah. I was about a day away from him signing the Mamas and Papas.
Oh, was he going to steal the Mamas and Papas?
Well, he was. I stole him. He was going to sign them.
He, of course, well, he did all right. He signed the Beach Boys. But I saw a lovely picture on Facebook of you with Valerie Vanette, Nick's widow, and I thought, oh, Lou Adler. And I've got to say, sir, I know you're on the other side of, let's say, 50. You're looking very swish for your age, Lou.
Very what?
You're still looking very dapper.
I am. I think it's because I have 7 children, all boys. They sort of keep me up and around.
Oh God, Lou, I've got 2 boys and I'm exhausted. Are you any plans to write a book? Because you have seen stuff that we mere mortals can only dream of. Is there going to be a Lou Adler autobiography?
Nope.
Oh, that's a definite no.
No, I'm going to keep those for myself, actually.
Good for you. Good for you. Lou, listen, honestly, it is such a thrill to talk to you. Thank you sincerely for all of the music you've done, man. You've been a huge part of my life, and I know a huge part of my listeners' lives. God bless you, Lou Adler. Thank you so much for coming on.
Well, thank you, and thank you very much for having me.
My absolute pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can see my face, if you're watching on Periscope, 15-year-old me is over the moon. Lou Adler. I mean, it really doesn't get any better than that. Onwards and upwards, dear listener. I've got a whole list of stuff for tonight's show. 0344 499 1000 if you want to call in. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over. Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
After that interview ended, I ran out of the studio and approached Kath and Ed and went, Lou effing Adler! What's interesting, remember we had Shel Talmy on, who produced The Kinks and The Who and all these people. Going to write a book? No. Why? Well, you know, I didn't really see anything. Lou Adler, you going to write a book? No. Why? I'm going to keep it to myself. I mean, you have to respect that in an age when everybody is cashing in on their memories, and someone like Lou Adler says, I'm going to keep it to myself. What a legend. What a legend. Honestly, you've not heard Tapestry by Carole King? Switch off the radio. Treat yourself. Go and buy it now. Go and stream it. Whether it be on Spotify, go and listen to it. Tapestry by Carole King. That man was on the other side of the glass. He was on the other side of the glass when a song had finished. When she'd finished playing Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow, he sat there stroking his beard for a second, leant over, pressed the button and went, I think you've got another one in you, Carol. Yeah, that was his job. Just back off the mic a bit, Carol, then we'll be there. Go on, let's have another go. That was his job. Absolutely incredible. I've got a whole list of stuff for tonight's show, but it has popped up on my screen where I see all the phone calls. It says on my screen, an old friend. That's all it says. I have literally no idea this is. That always terrifies me a little bit, but let's find out. Hello, old friend.
Who's that?
Oh, for goodness sakes. Do you know what? I knew it was going to be you. I knew it was going to be you.
Oh.
You.
Turn
the radio off, you muppet.
It's not the radio, it's the blooming sounds. Hold on.
Turn the blooming sound. I knew it was going to be him.
Oh, wait, anyway, I'll turn it up.
No, turn it down.
Should I turn the telly off or this podcast off?
I'm tempted to turn the phone off.
Right,
whatever is playing that sound.
Oh, the damned. I'll turn that down. All right, that's down now, yeah?
We've literally had a tweet 16 minutes ago saying, bring back Andre.
Who said that? Catherine?
No.
She seems like quite a nice lady, actually.
She is quite a nice lady.
Yeah, good.
Yes.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
Keep it up, yeah. Go on, carry on.
Keeping it up.
Keep your pecker up.
Yeah, how the bloody hell are you? I thought you'd be dead.
How the devil are you? How the devil are you?
Please, whatever is... God, this is like... We've just time-travelled 7 years. Whatever is... Shut up. Whatever is playing in the background, Andre...
That's my lappy. Hold on.
Your lappy.
Let me turn it off.
Yeah.
I can hear myself on it. Let me... hold fire. That's just...
playing that sound...
I
knew it was going to be him. I just had a vibe. I had a feeling.
Well, you weren't disappointed then, was you?
Well, no.
Hold on. Right, that's all off there.
Right. For those who don't know, Andre used to call me about 6-7 years ago. He used to drive a Subaru.
Don't smoke.
Right.
Don't drink. What do you do?
I thought you'd be dead by now.
Oh, whoa.
I did.
Well, you were disappointed then, weren't you?
How the bloomin' hell are you doing, man?
Yeah, not bad, Ian. You?
I'm all the better for hearing you. This is wonderful.
Yeah. Great, Ian. Yeah, nice to speak to you, yeah?
What you been up to for the last 7 years?
Well, bits and bobs, mustn't grumble. Bits and bobs. Yeah, bits and pieces, just carried on. What about you?
I've been up and down, up and down.
Bits and bobs.
Keeping my hand in,
Keeping your pecker up, yeah?
Bits and pieces.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice to hear you. I didn't know where you was, so I listened to a couple of stations, and then I was flicking through, and then I found you, so I thought I'll have a listen and give you a ring, yeah?
Now, you weren't just flicking through, because here's the thing. I had an email from someone last week.
Yeah, I was flicking through last week, actually. Yeah,
I had an email from someone, I'm seeing if I can find it, saying that they...
you can't disclose classified information.
Is it classified? Hello, Ian, you mentioned the other day, you think from time to time about callers you haven't heard in a while. Andre, I know a lady who works with him.
Yeah, don't...
No,
that's all you can say.
That's all I can say. That's all this person wrote.
Yeah, that's all right then. That's all right.
That's all right then, isn't it?
Acquaintance.
Sorry?
Just someone I know, yeah?
An acquaintance, yes. I don't know the name of the person.
Oh, that's all right then.
So I can't say it.
So, listen, any football games on the go? On the AstroTurf?
Here's the thing, right?
Right, go on, what?
Where we are now at Talk Radio...
Yeah.
Literally opposite the studios, there is a five-a-side football pitch.
You're joking?
No. And I'm tempted. I'm tempted. We talked about booking it, didn't we? And we do. I tell you what.
Oh, go for it, and we've got to go. I'll have some of that.
Tomorrow, Kath, when we come in, remind me. We'll find the phone number of that place, and we'll see about booking the five-a-side. This is what we'll do. We'll see if we can. We'll see if we can book it.
If we could, yeah, go for it and go on, sort it.
All right, I'm good. We'll see if we can book it for 10 o'clock at night. We'll do the show from out there. There we go.
Well, shall I have a drive up there?
Well, have you still got the Subaru?
The Scooby?
Yeah, you still got it?
No, I've got something else now.
Oh, right.
A bit faster.
Is it
bit better than that. Yeah, but I'll meet you up there, yeah.
All right, well, wait, let me arrange it first.
Yeah, don't do it on short notice here. I need spare time I've got a few things I've got to, like, sort of...
Yes.
You know, few ends to tie up, and you know how it is. You know what I mean? You can't make it like the drop of the hat. No, well, you're a very, very busy man. Well, you know how it is. You've got it these days, haven't you? Yeah.
You've got. Hey, listen, man, because I don't often find myself reminiscing about the callers because I
have tonight actually talking to you. I've been having a good think about it before I phoned. I thought it'd be nice to speak to you. Yeah.
What did it feel like when you started dialing the numbers?
Well, I was a bit nervous, I must admit, but and then I was okay, yeah. A funny thing happened to me the other day. I was trying to.
Of course it did, mate. You're Andre.
It was quite a long time ago, actually.
Yeah.
I was giving up smoking, and I bought a vapor. All right, this was quite a couple of years ago when I first came out, and I was walking down the road.
Yeah.
And I asked this bloke for a light.
Yeah.
It wouldn't light. I was trying to smoke was coming out, and it melted it.
Right, you're not supposed to light vapours, you muppet.
Well, I didn't know, did I?
Can I just try something?
So I said, I'll go to the GP and try and give up smoking. They give me some patches.
Here we go.
I couldn't flip him. I said, you've got any tobacco to roll up in them and put it out of a fag.
He's turned into a stand-up comedian.
It was stupid, it was.
It wasn't it? Can I just try something? Hang on, let's see if this works.
I'm talking to Tim and Eloise. Right, what's the question?
I've got to be careful because some of these are quite sweary. Here we go. Here's a good one.
It's Andre speaking. My name is Andre as well as Andy. I've got a confession to make. I've got a nice bit of music if you want to listen to it. Can I say a quick joke? Yeah, I like tennis and squash.
Well, you sound better than you did then, Andre.
Yeah, that's all right.
You sound a whole lot better.
Probably weren't me.
Yeah?
Nah, it might have been. I can't remember. It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. Listen, man, are you happy? Is life good?
Yeah, not too bad. In quite a good place. Good. I'm from Essex, in case you couldn't tell. Right. Do you ever play any music on this channel?
I'm not going to play.
Ricky Dicky,
I'm not going to play. I can't remember his name. Ian Jury. I'm not playing Ian Jury. No,
I'm
terrible.
Actually, I'm gutted. I really am lately. After this call, Ian Jury's passed away, and so has Joe Strummer. Yeah,
quite a long time ago, mate.
Yeah, I know. It still gets me.
Does it? Oh, well, don't let it get to you.
It does.
Well, listen. Are you going to be... I'm on Mondays to Fridays, 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you a buzz, yeah?
Well, are you going to... are you going to listen?
Yeah, of course I'll listen.
And you're going to call in?
Yeah, I'll give you a ring, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, listen, man, I'm glad you're alive and well. You sound really well. It's good to hear your voice, buddy.
Nice to speak to you, Ian, as well, yeah?
Take care, man. Bye-bye.
Cheers, Ian. Bye.
Well, there we go. Do you know, I saw that when it said an old friend. I thought, I wonder... If you're having trouble on Twitter, it's probably because that phone call has just melted it. That's what that's all about, dear listener. Wowzers. 0344. For those who don't know, he used to phone me years and years and years ago, and I thought he'd be a dead man, and he's not. He's alive, and he sounds in a great place. 0344 499 1000. Did I put too many fours in there? 0344 499 1000. No, I didn't. That's the perfect number of fours. That's exactly how many fours you want to have. Well, if we're going back in time, let's go. There we go. Let's go back properly. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. As it's Monday. We'll do this after 11. We do this every Monday. Ian's mum's Monday mind flip. Actually, we got the jingle. Have you got the stab? You got the stab? No, don't say. You're supposed to have the stab. Well, where is it? I haven't got it. Kath, flipping heck. We're all trying to be all slick to turn around the disappointing listener figures. And, where's she gone? Where's she going? Talk on the microphone. Don't just wander around like an idiot.
I emailed it to you.
Yeah, I thought that was just to say whether I liked it or not.
Or just to show off.
Yes, put it on there. Email it to Ed and put it on there.
I'm doing it.
All right, thank you very much, Inda. Well, anyway, we've got jingles and stuff made up, so we've got that. I've got a whole list of topics here. Let me put these two out, then we'll take a break, then we'll speak to Russ, and then maybe we'll speak to you, right? 0344 499 1000. And this question... Right, this first question is pertinent, but I can't say why it's pertinent. And it might not be pertinent, so ignore that bit about the pertinence. If you were being hunted, where would you hide? Very simple question. If you were being hunted, right, and your life depended on it, where would you hide? 0344 499 1000. Now, this question had a reason to it, and I can't think what it is. Kids' things you do as an adult. And I was doing something today, and I cannot for the life of me remember what it was I did. But I remember thinking, when I was a kid, I'd have been... For example, eating ice cream for breakfast. Ice cream for breakfast. Kids' things you do as an adult, and if you were being hunted, where would you hide? 0344 499 1000. Late nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
The radio show for people who know the best part of the day is the night.
Late Night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Oh, 344-499-1000. Yes, Russ!
Hello, Ian. How are you doing, my man?
I'm over the moon, Russ!
That's great. It's good to hear you again. I'm not much of a night person, so you don't hear much from me anymore.
Why are you not much of a night person? Oh, you're a day person.
Because I'm a dad person. I go to bed early, and I get up early in the morning. But I've got another baby coming tomorrow.
Uh-oh. Hey, blimey. Flipping heck.
My wife is currently in hospital, and we are having another child tomorrow by cesarean.
Hang on a minute. Didn't you have one quite recently?
No, that was 8 years ago, mate.
Oh, okay, right, fine.
Yeah, in between all that, she's thrown me out. I've had problems with this, that, and the other.
Hey!
But, yeah, we're back on track. But the really big news is I've started a new band. So.
Tell us about the new band, Russ. Forget the baby. Let's hear all about that.
I got a call from a guy called Jan. You don't hear from many guys called Jan, really.
You don't really. Jan from Jan and Dean is the only person I can think of.
This guy calls me up. He'd seen my number up in the studio because I wanted to drum again, and he called me. He plays the piano, and he's into a lot of the old groove, a bit of Dr. John and that kind of thing. So
I would, by the way, let's just put this out there if anybody's interested. I would like to be in a band. I play adequate bass guitar. I'd love to be in a band again. I'd love to be. I'm not brilliant on the bass, and it takes me ages to work it out. I'd love to be in a band, guys. Come on.
That's good. Someone should do it with you, definitely.
Hey, Russ, if you were being hunted, right, properly hunted, right, and your life depended on it, where would you hide?
Well, by the sounds of your listener figures, I'd come and join you.
Hey, whoa. Hey, fair play, though. No, in all honesty, he's absolutely spot on. This is probably the best place to hide in Britain right now. Unfortunately, Russ, I'm turning it around. I'm up in my game. At one moment last week, I was thinking, I'm going to bow down and surrender to the low radar figures. But now I'm inspired, and I'm standing up, and I am fighting back, Russ.
No, I've discovered I can play you through my TV on an app, which is quite handy, and having this new kid on the way, I'm going to be in touch.
I found a brilliant app, right, that lets you film stuff on your phone, so it looks like a 1980s video record. You know the camcorders used to get on, that were like the size of a bookcase?
My nan used to hire one from Radio Rangers.
Yeah. I remember me and my mates hired one for a day when we were about 15, and we made silly films with it.
Yes.
And it was massive. Well, there's an app. Two things, right? First of all, there's an app so you can film stuff and it looks like that, and that's fun. I've been playing with that all weekend and pretending I've been time travelling. I've been filming myself going, Ian, it worked. I'm back in 1986. Here's what, just loads of rubbish like that. But also, here's the thing, and I cannot remember the person's name. Hopefully, if they're listening, they'll tweet so I can mention them. But if not, I'll mention them when it comes. Someone has found in their loft a working giant VHS camcorder, and he's going to send it to me, and I'm going to make videos on it.
You're so lucky. We saw my fat cousin Martin on one of the videos, standing on a stool in a back garden, waving a stick around with a cup on the end, and this horrible little kid comes over called Ben. This is about 1986.
Yeah.
Hoofs the stool. Martin falls flat on his face, and we never got permission to send it to Jeremy Beadle. They wouldn't have it.
Did you ever call Fat Martin farting?
Well, no, he's just Fat Martin. Okay. His dad's quite large as well. It's just, yeah.
It tends to run in the family.
I don't get on with a lot of my family, but
me neither.
That's
my family. Here's the thing. Members of my here we go. We'll do. Here's a topic. Let me get a pen. Hang on a minute. This is the genius is working now. Why does your family hate you? That's a great one. And you can phone in with an assumed name. I don't want names. 0344 499 1000. Why does your family hate you? Or why do you hate your family? There we go. That's a great one, Russ. Thank you for that, mate.
Switchboard is lighting up. You have fun, and I'll be in touch again.
Thank you very much indeed. Good luck with the baby. I should say, by the way, 0344 499 1000. Why does your family hate you, or why do you hate your family? If you were being hunted, where would you hide? And kids' things that you do as an adult. 0344 499 1000. We've got loads of these. I should just say, we do this show, and you know that Catherine and I do a different show called The Rabbit Hole. We are taking it on tour. The Rabbit Hole is going on tour, dear listener, and literally a world World Tour. So here are some dates for you. Thursday, June the 15th, we're going to be doing the Rabbit Hole in New York City, right? We've hired a venue, holds 25 people. We've sold one ticket. And if that's all we sell, I'd be happy with that. One person in New York is coming to see us. If you want tickets for that, ian@iainlee.com, email me. Then, Sunday the 9th of July, we're doing an early evening show in Newcastle. We've sold 9 tickets for that. It holds 300. Sunday, I shouldn't say this stuff. Tickets are selling out really, really fast, guys. If you want them, you better get there quickly. Sunday the 9th of July, Newcastle. I reckon it'd be all right for 14-year-olds and up. If you want tickets, go to thestand.co.uk. thestand.co.uk. Sunday, the 29th of July, back in Manchester. An afternoon show, 1 o'clock, lunchtime show. Saturday, the 29th of July, Manchester. And then Sunday, the 17th of September, ages away. It's the only Rabbit Hole show we are doing in London this year. Sunday, the 17th of September. It's not at the usual place. It's at King's Place. Tickets are not on sale yet. Follow me on Twitter. At Iain Lee, or if you go to facebook.com/Iain Lee, all of the stuff there, and we're getting a swanky Rabbit Hole website. I think it's the rabbithole.show.com or something like that. Anyway, so that's happening, guys. We may, to quote the Monkees, you better get ready. We may be coming to your town. Imagine being too busy to put anybody down. Imagine that. We're too busy singing to put anybody down. Well, it's just a thought. Wouldn't the world be a much more peaceful place? 0344 499 1000. Yes, Mike.
Ian.
Mike.
How you doing?
I'm all right, thank you. I'm feeling... Here's the thing, right? We had terrible listener figures last week. Terrible, right? The worst on the station. I don't mind saying that. But the online figures and the podcast absolutely blinded. And I got really down, Mike. Really, really down on Friday and over the weekend. Really down about it. Think, oh, no, it's all over. What am I going to do? And then on sort of Saturday, Sunday, I just thought, sod this. I'm not going down, Mike, without a fight. I'm fighting back. So actually, I'm feeling better than I could. I'm inspired by the fact that we've got so many online viewers and online listeners and podcasters. I'm inspired by that. And we've got the listener figures are down in the old-fashioned media. Well, I can turn it around. I know exactly how to turn it around, Michael, and I am turning it around right now. So I'm feeling on top of the world, buddy. On top of the world.
I've got to say, you did sound very happy when you were speaking to that chap earlier.
Oh, well, but
the interview that you did.
Oh, Lou Adler, man alive, 15-year-old me was over the moon. And then Andre phones in. This is the best show we've ever done. What you got for us, Mike?
Brilliant. Being Hunted. What was that TV show where they send people off and they get hunted by a group of MI5 operatives? It was some TV show a couple of years ago.
I don't watch much TV. Year. Was that it wasn't Survivor, was it?
I don't know. It was called Hunted or Survivor or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
And these people always go off to the woods or to remote country places. And I watched a couple of episodes with the missus, and I said, do you know what? They're making a complete mistake.
I love the fact you sound like my old man. I'm aware of the programme because I remember seeing the poster, and we may have seen a clip of it here, but I never watched it. But that's exactly what my old man would have been saying. The bloody idiots! They don't want to do that. They want to. Everyone's an expert. Go on. So instead of going to the country, what would you do?
I would go to London. I would dress. I'd grow my beard out. I'd dress as a vagrant.
Hang on a minute. How long are they hiding for? Like a year?
It's a few. I think the programme goes on for 6 or 7 weeks, something like that.
And you can grow a full beard in 6 and 7 weeks?
No, I couldn't. No, I'd need at least a year to get some good growth going, to be fair. Yeah. I'm not a natural beard person.
No.
But I always thought the way to do it would be go to London, dress as a vagrant, just sit begging out. So I think you could sit outside the TV studios where they make the programme.
That is.
I think sitting in plain sight. I think that's the key.
So this was a game.
Take yourself off to the woods.
Was this so this was a game show? What did they win? Like a car or something?
No, I don't know what they won. I think it was just the fact of being on TV for a few weeks. I think.
This is the thing. This is the thing that TV companies, they realised about 10 years ago, because they used to, obviously Who Wants to Be a Millionaire would offer $1 million. They used to offer big prizes. Then about 10 years ago, TV companies got wise and realised you didn't have to offer anything. The prize for a lot of people is just being on telly. That's
15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
15 minutes of fame. That'll do, mate.
Come on telly and eat a sandwich made of dog poo. We're not going to pay you. Well, you'll be on something to show the grandkids.
Didn't Terry Christian used to do a thing on the TV show? Yeah, what was that?
On the word. The hope. What's it called? The Hopefuls or something? The wannabes.
Yeah, that was right. Yeah.
And they would literally, snog. There was snogging an old lady.
Yeah, that was it.
Wasn't there someone who ate? I'm sure I remember someone eating vomit once. Didn't they? Just to be on the television.
Just to get you 15 minutes.
Flip absolutely. Heck, man, there's no need for that.
And your other point, things you did as a kid, as an adult, I ate ice cream on Saturday morning for breakfast.
This is it. This is what...
It was...
Because when you're
it was a throwback. It was fantastic.
When you're like 9 or 10, right, you're constantly, well, when I grow up, I'm going to eat ice cream for breakfast. I'm going to stay up. I'm going to stay up until 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to do that. I'm going to ride my bike and get all this. And of course, when you become an adult, you don't really, you find yourself falling into an adult routine.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember what I did today, because I did something. I went, that'll be a good idea for a phone in. And I cannot for the life of me remember what it was, but it was just something. It's like, I tell you what I like doing, right? When I take the kids to the park, and we went to the park on Sunday. Oh, I don't want to go. We're not watching telly all day. It's a nice day. We're going to the park. And I couldn't do it because it was too busy. But when the park's empty, having a proper go on the swings, like a proper go and getting as high as I can. I love that. And I've done that once, and then someone came and told me, this is, the equipment is meant for children only. All right, mate.
What the parkie? Do they have parkies anymore?
I think all the parkies went to prison for sex offences. I think.
Possibly.
I think, because that would be the only reason. And if there are any parkies listening, it's a joke, guys. I'm doing a piece. But that would be the only reason you would become a park keeper, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I can't think of any other reason.
I remember getting chased out of the park a few times by the parkers.
Were parkies real? I thought they were just in the Beano.
No, there were in Birmingham. There were people who lived on site. There was a house that was on the park. There was quite a couple of big parks in Birmingham. King's Heath Park was a big park. Yeah. They used to film Gardener's World from there. Gardener's World studios were at King's Heath Park.
My youngest is getting really into Doctor Who. The oldest doesn't like it, but the youngest does. And we watched an episode, the first series, I'm doing that, the Christopher Eccleston series, right? And I've not seen it for ages. And we watched an episode that at the time I thought, that's not going to date very well. And now, about 10 years later, that's not dated very well. The Doctor, right, he goes to this TV satellite thing, right, where they're showing... And it's like in the year, he says it's the year 200, 100, right? So it's way in the future. And all the TV shows, the contestants get killed, right? If that's the thing. It's basically saying TV has become so voyeuristic and so...
like the Running Man.
Exactly, right. Yeah. But the programmes that they get in, right? Big Brother, The Weakest Link... There's reference to Ground Force, and I'm watching it thinking, this is dated even worse than I was expecting it to.
Yeah, than you were expecting.
It was terrible.
Who's your Doctor Who?
Tom Baker. Tom
Baker. Yeah.
Tom Baker.
There's only one.
And I like Peter Davison. I never bought into Eccleston as a Doctor. I thought he grinned too much.
Yeah, I never really watched it other than, only as a kid. I was never really, I've never watched any of the newer versions.
The Tennant stuff's worth looking, but it's a little bit silly. Mike, listen, good to talk to you, man. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks, Ian.
Cheers, with this. Ta-ta. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Busy show this evening. After 11 o'clock, I'm going to play... Have we got the jingle now, guys? I'm going to play this.
And now, it's time for Ian's Mum's Monday Mindfuck.
I'm going to play that. Play that every Monday. She's got a corker for you this week, guys. She sets a riddle, and you have to... Well, you have to answer the riddle. I mean, it's that. It's simple. It's all right. We do it every single week. And also, we have these topics on the topic griddle right now. Kids' things that you do as an adult. 0344 499 1000. Why does your family hate you? Or why do you hate your family? Here's the thing, right? All families are completely messed up. I can't think, and some families look normal on the outside, but there will be an aunt or an uncle or a cousin or a sibling that you just don't talk to. And, Mum, why don't you talk to Uncle Steve anymore? I don't want to talk about it. And quite often, I mean, with my family, it was over something quite significant, but quite often it's over something really stupid and totally unimportant. And whole families can be, and then the kids won't talk to the kids of the other person, because we don't talk to them. 0344 499 1000. And here's a question. If you were being hunted, right, and your life depended on it, your actual life depended on it, where would you hide? How would you do it? Where would you go? I'm basing all of my knowledge on hiding from people based on McVicar, starring Roger Daltrey as John McVicar, and The Great Escape. And here's the thing, if someone speaks to you in English, don't answer them in English. That's the lesson from The Great Escape. Good luck with your travels. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, bugger. That's what happens, isn't it? Good luck with your travels. Thanks for... Oh, nuts. So don't speak to anybody, I guess is the first thing. We've got no calls lined up. I'll let you know now. So now would be great. We've got a few lined up. I do apologise. 0344 499 1000. Late nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Talk Radio.
Busy night, guys. Busy night. This is the new direction. If you used to listen and stopped, well, come back. Late nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road is where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Down this road that never seems to end. When new adventure lies just around the bend. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, the whole world is my home. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. There's a world that's waiting to unfold. A brand new tale no one has ever told. We've journeyed far, but you know it won't be long. We're almost there and we paid our fare with tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll find what I call home. Until tomorrow,
you know I'm free to roam. Yes, Jerry.
London.
Sorry?
London the dog. London.
London? You'd hide in London?
London the dog. The Littlest Hobo.
Oh, London, the dog in the Littlest Hobo. Yes, that is... apparently, that song comes from a television series. Who'd have known?
Yeah, I thought I reminded.
There was another programme with the dog, wasn't there? That it was like a little Scotty dog, or a Yorkshire Terrier, wasn't there? What was it?
Heart to Heart.
No, not Heart to Heart. No. There was a programme where the star was a Yorkshire Terrier. I'm damn sure of it.
It was Lassie.
Lassie was bloody awful.
Larry Wilcox was in that.
Yeah. Lassie was a boy as well.
Lassie was it?
Yeah, Lassie was played by a boy. Couldn't get away with that these days. They'd be up in arms or up in paws. I don't know. It wouldn't be paws because paws would be the equivalent of hands. They've still got arms, legs. They'd be up in legs. That's it. We got there in the end.
How are you doing?
I'm all right. I had a great night. I bunked off Friday to take my boys to see the Beach Boys, and we had, dear listener, the best time of all time. My youngest, my 5-year-old, fell asleep after an hour. Show started at 8, he fell asleep at 9. And then my eldest, we had the interval, and he fell asleep at about 10:15, and I left about 10:30, and it was magical. And the two things that made it particularly magical. First off, my youngest knew all the words to Surfing Safari. Secondly, I made sure I was touching the boys at all moments. I had my arms around them because I really wanted to have physical contact with my children while one of my favourite bands was playing some of my favourite music. And so they're singing Catch a Wave, they're singing Wendy, which is a song that's quite an obscure Beach Boys song, and I love it. And they're singing Wendy, and I've got my arms around my boys, so I've got physical contact, and it's buzzing around with the energy is buzzing around all three of us. It was magical, Jerry, absolutely magical.
They sing Wipeout.
No, they did. I've seen them perform Wipeout in the 90s, where they would put on chains and rap.
Yeah, the Fat Boys.
That was geez. Yeah, bands, it's always a great phone-in. Acts in the 60s, acts that have lost their way. Acts that have lost their way. And the Beach Boys, man alive, they lost their way. If you want to see a really scary, and I mean scary because it's horrendous, video, watch the Beach Boys, the video for their version of California Dreaming, which I think came out about 1986. It's shot in black and white, and they look like, and I'm gonna say it, they look like a paedophile ring. Honestly, it is the most terrifying, it's in a church, and John Phillips plays a vicar. It is terrifying. You alright, Jerry?
I'm scared. I am alright. Everybody can hear me a bit better this time. A bit calmed down. What was up for me a couple of weeks ago.
You were very hyper a couple of weeks ago. You sound a lot more calmed down today.
Yes, I was up for... I got a cold in the cough. That was something to do with it.
Yeah.
It's off my face.
Were you off your face then, or you're off your face now?
No, it's me. It's Paul Ross, isn't he? Nice man, Paul Ross. Oh, nice man.
Paul Ross?
Yeah, nice
Paul Ross is, and I don't know him very well at all. I've only met him a couple of times. He is one of the nicest human beings you could ever meet.
He's so good with me. He's nice.
He is absolutely delightful. All right, Jerry, listen, I'm going to let you go. I'll speak to you later on.
Okay.
Ta-ta, thank you very much indeed. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Let's go to Cleo. Good evening, Cleo.
Hello, Ian.
Hello, Cleo.
How are you doing, man?
I am good. Can I just say, I'm getting lots of people messaging me, right, about something that may or may not have happened.
Oh.
No. I don't want to make a thing of it, right? But I know that my team, because I'm not like Sky News where we'll go and say, well, I'm not going to say something until it's my BBC training. I'm not going to say something until I know what's going on, okay? But just everybody messaging me. My team is away. They are looking into it.
Ooh.
Don't panic, Mr. Mannering. Don't panic, Mr. Mannering. Because there's stuff. It's all unclear, and one person's saying one thing, and one person saying. So just everyone chill out, calm down. There's nothing we could. Here's the thing, right? By me breaking a story incorrectly, all I can do is create fear, right? So instead of creating fear and getting it wrong, why don't we all just sit back and just wait until we got some facts, all right? Okay, we got some facts. Anyway, Cleo, I probably scared more people by speaking in vagaries than by being literal. What have you got for us this evening?
You scared the life out of me.
Good, that was the plan!
Jesus wept.
There we go.
Anyhow, hiding. Where would you hide?
Yes. Now, with respect.
Yes.
You're a big lad, but you're also a short lad.
You've stumbled upon my quandary.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a quandary, isn't it?
Because I've been like this all my life. So I've never, like when I was a kid, I couldn't reach the top shelf of porn mags.
Hey, mate.
So I missed out on that.
Boy, you missed out, eh? Escort, Razzle, Mayfair. Oh,
exactly. And...
Yes.
Can you imagine me on a, identikit parade? Yeah, Tim?
Well, you know those pictures you get? You know those pictures where you have to stand there and hold your number and it's got the height in the background? I wonder if it goes down as low as you. They'd have to mark it on with a pencil or just stick a ruler. Oh, just measure you with a ruler. I'm being rude, Cleo, because I know you can take it.
Can you imagine, the lineup on Usual Suspects?
Here's the thing, because I wanted to... here we go, here's another topic. Jobs you considered as a student, right? One, of course, was sperm donation, because it was 15 quid a pop. I'm glad I didn't do that, because they then changed the rules, which meant that the kids that are, big, they can come back and find you, which I think is a little bit, I don't know. But the other one, I always wanted to do this, was to be... in a police lineup, because I think you got 20 quid.
Yeah,
and there's no... Everyone goes, oh, well, what if they pick you? Well, there's no chance they can pick you, because the coppers know who they want... The coppers know who they want to pick. They've always got one person who's the suspect, and everyone else is just in to fill numbers.
I'd probably get turned away from that job.
Well, unless...
Because of that quandary.
Unless there had been a series of robberies, in the Snow White's house. I don't know.
I was going to say, the local pantomime has been doing some robberies on the side.
Great controversy. This is a true story. Great controversy amongst and I'm going to say the D word because it's relevant amongst the dwarf community, and by that I mean the I don't know what the politically correct term is. I think it's wee men amongst the wee men that play. I think so. If I'm wrong, I apologise. Amongst the wee men that play dwarves in pantomimes because it's a very specialised turn, so they charge quite a lot of money, and to save money, a lot of pantomimes are hiring A, children, or B, and this is where I could be annoyed if I was a wee man, regular-sized actors, but they do that thing where they kneel down and they tie shoes to their knees. Yeah, so they tie shoes to their knees. And so the actors that would normally get those roles... I remember the last two Christmases, you watch this Christmas, the last two Christmases, the actors that would normally play those roles have been apoplectic with rage about it.
I would be.
The kids... it's always cute to see kids in pantomime. It's always cute, but the regular-sized actors with. I'm sorry. I'm just.
They need a form of dwarves union.
I've just had a text him, Keith, Cleo, from Keith.
All right.
Sport video, Keith.
Yes.
Right, now, for those who don't know, Keith is a regular caller to the show, and he sent us a video of his nephew, wasn't it, Harry, fast running.
Yes.
He's just sent in, and he was going to film Harry on a rocket bike. Do you remember?
Yes.
Here we go. Keith from Sport Video says, "Hi, Ian." I won't do the voice. You can do the voice. It's your voice, but I won't. "Hi, Ian. I'm a bit down. I'm a bit. I can't not do it in the voice. I'm a bit down on that at the moment. The rocket bike was a bit of a disaster today, to be honest. I could have told him that. I think I did tell him that. The lad lost his nerve. The groundsman got all huffy in that. There was a dog running loose. It pains me to say it, but Buttery Clive might well have been right, with his calculations. Anyway, I've plenty more ideas, so leave it with me, Regards to the lass, Keith Sport Video." Well, he was gonna put the 12 or 13-year-old kid on a bike and attach rockets to it, which I said would be a disaster. And then he posted on Twitter pictures. It was just like rockets that you get from the fireworks shop. He was going to put a kid on a bike powered by fireworks. What an absolute idiot! He would have blown his arse off. Well, Claire, I'm glad we've put the world to rights. I'm glad a child didn't buy a ride. He lost his nerve. Of course he lost his nerve. You were going to put him on a bike powered by blooming fireworks, you idiot. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
The wild man of late night radio is back.
Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
So, look, I realise I probably scared more people than I calmed down. There are reports of an incident at the Manchester Arena, and police are telling people to stay away. But, of course, with all of these things, if you go to Twitter for the news, it's literally both extremes of the spectrum. So there were reports of an incident. We don't know what it is. We don't know if it's that. So I'm holding off saying any more until we get some facts in, okay? But if you're near there, the police are saying, don't go near there. Just back away. When we hear any more during the night, we will, of course, let you know. Right? Good. Okay. Oh, flipping it. Right, okay. Buttery Clive.
Hello, Ian. How are you doing,
Well, I'm fine. I'm really... All right. I verified that on Twitter it is Keith Sport Video Keith is on Twitter, right? I need to verify. Are you on Twitter as Buttery Clive? Buttery Clive?
No, Buttery Clive is a name that was given to me by others. I've said it before. It was an upsetting incident that happened behind the school kitchens when I was forced to eat a pound of butter by the big lad.
But you enjoyed it. So who are you on Twitter? Because I'm getting all these fake accounts springing up.
I'll tell you now, Ian. The only person that's allowed to be me on Twitter, and I've spoken to Mr. Twitter, he said he was, it's at Clive, under the line score,
yes,
Sutcliffe.
What?
No
Sutcliffe?
relation.
Well, okay. So at Clive, underscore Sutcliffe, and at
No relation.
No. Is that part of the title?
No, that's
then don't say it.
No relation.
Well, then don't say it, because people then think people will think it's all one word. And at Sport Video Keith, if you want to get, you've been both of you idiots have been clogging up my timeline this weekend with arguments, and then making up like a couple of 15-year-old schoolgirls, and then you posted some very, very complicated looking scientific calculations about Keith's rocket bike.
Keith was very upset because he thought I was going to try and disrespect him and his nephew Harry by trying to take the sails out of his wind.
Right.
But all I was doing was on a health and safety aspect. I did do a government course, and so I looked into it at the library when our mum was having a sleep. Yes. And I've got some facts and figures here and some history. And if you bear with me, I can go through it just to prove that it will never work on a bike with a kid on.
Okay, all right. Well, how long is this going to take?
It's about 27 minutes, the full lecture. But I can...
we've not really got... Can you condense it to like a minute?
Well, not really, because it's a very complex... But I'll start, and then if you get bored, you can just switch us off.
Okay, okay, thank you for that, yes. So go on.
Well, I won't... And then anyone can absorb what they need then.
Yes.
Now, I'm a bit happy tonight. It's not because Keith's ridiculous...
Is this the... have you started the lecture?
No, I'm just telling you now that I'm a bit up in the air because I found half a chunky Kit Kat in our mum's handbag when she was asleep.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to have that after the phone call.
Okay, well, that might be sooner than you think.
I'm not happy because Keith's bike didn't work. I just wanted everyone to know that I'm not a snub man.
If we could just get on to the beginning of the lecture.
Okay,
Clive.
then. In 1923, Dr. Ober wrote a book called The Rocket into Interplanetary Space.
Right.
And it was to espouse his theories of space travel like. Among his theories was the concept of staging to achieve higher velocities. His writings inspired Werner von Braun.
Okay. I mean, if I had a fader, I would fade it out, but the desk is still broken. Okay, guys, it's time to play this! Thank you.
And now, it's time for Ian's Mum's Monday Mindfuck.
Very simple competition. I go and see my mum, and I record her doing a riddle. Now, the things you should know about my mum are that she's absolutely nuts. I mean, she's absolutely insane. But these are genuine riddles, and we do one every Monday. It's just a little bit of fun. There's no prizes to give away. We could give prizes. We're not the BBC. All right, there's £1 million up for grabs. There's not. Kath's face when she said, "Can't say that, because if you say it, you've got to give it away. It'll come out of your money." Will it? But 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Let's go with this one. Oh no, hang on a second. I've got to turn the volume up. That would I mean, just pause. Hang on a minute. Right, dealing with this computer is like dealing with my mother. A nightmare. Here we go.
What has 4 fingers and a palm, but is not living?
Now, it's a very simple question. What has 4 fingers? Well, I'll let her say it again.
What has 4 fingers and a palm, but is not living?
It's my mum's Monday mind flip. What has 4 fingers and a thumb and is not living? That's the question, guys. 0344 499 1000. Can you beat my mum? Huh? Can you? I don't think so, guys. I don't think so. Other bits and pieces, what we have got on at the moment are... Why does your family hate you? Or indeed, why do you hate your family? 0344 499 1000. If you were being hunted, where would you hide? Your life depends on it, right? Where would you hide? Oh, well, I'd miss my family. I'm like, no, I wouldn't. Oh, no. And they say, well, let's monitor, Lee's kids and his family, because he'll want to go back there and make contact with them. I'll be all right. You monitor my kids and my family as much as you want. I'll be all right, Columbo. Hey, I'm just going to keep an eye on his kid. We'll follow the kids at school. He'll go and meet them at school. No. I'll be fine. Honestly, I'm sorted. 0344 499 1000 and kids' things that you do as an adult. Now, here's an odd thing, right? Here's an odd thing that happened earlier in the day. I was trying to get a bit of excitement going between me and Catherine, because I've come to the conclusion. Catherine, come in and join me for this, please. I have come to the conclusion that one of the reasons that this show has done so badly in the radio is, yes, of course, the station doesn't advertise and the suits don't get the comedic genius that they have within me, and they don't appreciate the online figures are key. So we have to work within an old-fashioned framework. But part of the reason, I think the main reason, is that for the hour before the show, Catherine refuses quite vehemently to talk to me. You refuse to talk to me.
That's not quite true, is it?
Well, let's hear your side of the story before I give the facts.
Well, I do, and often I'm told to shut up, Kath, because
No.
you're concentrating, because you're writing your lists of things.
Yeah, my
and
lists.
Your lists of things.
Yes.
And you are busy with various businesses. Ventures.
You sit there.
Sometimes just general moods.
You sit there, right?
Yeah, and
with your headphones on. Talking to yourself, editing like your best of your
working.
Technically, it's working, yeah. But editing your why has my computer gone absolutely crazy? What happened there?
It's probably because of the bullshine that's been emitted from its general
I'm shutting down phone box.
frontal vicinity.
I'm shutting down phone box. Something's happened there. So you're editing.
I've given up on fun with you in the last couple of weeks, so I started doing my work.
Is my name above the door? You're editing like your best ofs and your...
No, I haven't done it for a couple of weeks. That's lies.
Have they dropped you?
It's the red box now. It's all about the red box.
I'm sorry to hear that. By the way, people texting in their answers, get a life. 0344 499 1000. Or you're watching some god awful Yeah, we watch this programme. I don't watch TV because it's rubbish and I'm not on it. As Noel Coward said, television is for appearing on, not for watching. And this programme that seems to have been on quite a lot, where a doctor...
Dr. Wrongen.
Dr. Wrong is his name?
I think so,
Wayne,
yeah.
call back. We can't get through to you, apparently. What is this? A messaging service? Is this a dating website? What the hell is going on? Dr. Wrongen goes and stays with the family. He's rubbish.
No, he's not.
He's absolutely... The woman last week, right, she's getting cluster headaches, right? And he sent her off for scans and he told her to stop eating dairy. They always say, right, with headaches, don't eat dairy. Tell you what, if I'm not allowed to eat cheese, then life isn't worth living. So, no. And the dairy thing never works. No human being has ever stopped eating dairy and gone, oh, my headaches are gone. Don't work. It's nonsense.
I had a friend at college who had migraines, and she seemed to think it was cheese and chocolate.
Rubbish. Here's the thing, right? Here's what I've been told about my migraines. You'll grow out of them. Rubbish. And it's to do with dairy. Rubbish. Stick it up your bum.
That's a method,
so
is it?
he's going and he's doing all this and he's 45 minutes into it. He sends her to another doctor and he goes to the doctor to find out what's going on. The doctor goes, well, yeah, she had a really serious car accident and the headache started after that and I think her neck is bent. Right. The woman with the headaches has wasted my time because she should have said, by the way, I don't know if this is relevant, but just before the headache started, I had a really serious car accident. The Dr. Wrongen should be sacked, should be struck off because he didn't find that out. Give the series to the doctor lady that found it. Give her the series. She knows what she's doing.
I think they should just give his job to Dr. Range, because Dr. Range seems to get to the root of the problem very quickly, and he'll know a song about it.
Yeah, no, I'd give it to the rather smoky Scottish nurse that he has. Who's, I always get the impression just before they go to her doing her song with those kids, she's going. All right, let me just put this out. Right, go on.
Isn't she called Nurse Morag?
I like her. I think she is absolutely flipping brilliant. 0344 499 1000. Wayne, Kai, Hannah, stay there. Come to you after this.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Good evening, Kai.
Good evening, Iain Lee.
Good evening, Kai. How we doing, Kai? I'm good. Do you know what, Kai? I'm on the top of the world looking down on creation and the only explanation I can find. I'm good. You're right, Kai?
Yes, I am. I wanted to talk about a topic, what has got 4 legs and...
What have you got for legs?
Yes, what you said, a topic.
Oh, yeah, go on.
I reckon it's a spider.
What was the question that you heard, Kai?
That's 4 legs or whatever.
Just give me the full question as you heard it.
I just caught a snippet of it. What has 4 legs, is it? And
yeah. No.
Yeah.
Shall I play it again?
Yeah, go on in, just once more, please.
Let's play it again. This is my mum, okay? So be polite. Here we go.
What has 4 fingers and a thumb, but is not living?
4 fingers and a thumb, but is not living. No, literally no mention of legs. And if it were legs, it's not living. All spiders are alive.
Is it your fingers?
Sorry?
Is it your fingers, hands?
Is it your fingers' hands?
Yeah, 'cause they got thumb and
Yeah.
your hands.
Yeah. Right, I've got 8 fingers and 2 thumbs, and I am alive. And the specific thing here was 4 fingers, 1 thumb, and is not alive.
Oh dear.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it? No.
Nearly right.
Hey, Kai, if you had to hide, right, because you were being hunted and someone was going to kill you, right?
Yeah.
Where and how would you hide?
In a shed.
Whose shed?
My shed,
well,
of course.
What? Right, if I'm a trained killer. Right, I'm a trained marksman, right, and I come looking for you, right, and I come to your house, and I go to Mum. Where's Kai? And your Mum says, I don't know, not here. And I say, all right, I'll go and look somewhere. Hang on, is that a shed you've got in the garden? And they go, yeah. And I go, oh, I'm to go and look in there. I found you straight away. I'll take you off to prison.
Oh dear.
No, I'm not going to take you off to. No, don't panic. I'm not actually going to take you off to prison, but I would.
In someone's back garage, quick.
There we go. Get in someone's back garage, quick, Kai. Thank you. 0344 499 1000. Oh, bless you. Hello, Wayne.
Hello there. Hello.
Was that a sneeze or a cough?
It was a cough.
Oh, in that case, I retract the bless you. That deserves no part in this conversation.
Okay.
Okay, Wayne.
Right, the question that you asked, what has 4 fingers and a thumb?
Yes.
And is not alive?
Yes.
A glove.
You're saying a glove?
A glove.
Shall we go to my mum and find out if you're right?
Oh, yes, please.
It's a glove, you dicks.
There we go. Just hear that again. It's
a glove, you dicks.
It's a glove, you dicks. That's my mother there. I didn't encourage her to say those words. I certainly didn't ask her to say those words. She spontaneously said that, and I couldn't quite clip that last bit off, otherwise you'd lose the S of the gloves. It's absolutely right, Wayne. I think you've won Did we say £1 million, or did we scrap that idea in the end?
Oh,
I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry, buddy. The £1 million has been retracted. Now, here's the thing. 0344 499 1000. We'll have more from my mum next week. Don't worry, guys. I promise you. Here's the thing, right? So I was trying to build up a little bit of team spirit between Catherine, because she's too busy watching, the Doctor Show or Gogglebox or any of these these rubbish television shows that are on. And so I was trying to get, and I said, right, we're going to do this. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. A sailor went to sea to see what. And she went, I can't play that with you. And I said, why? She said, because you're a boy.
Can't teach you the secrets of slapsies.
Is that what it's
I don't
called?
know what it's called.
Slapsies?
I don't know what it's called.
But it's kind of this sort of black magic that was being conjured up in the school playgrounds. Boys would be off playing war and fighting, and girls would be doing all kinds of bizarre, wonderful things with
French skipping,
with elastic bands. And their hands, but you will not divulge. A sailor went to sea to see what he could see.
It's that one.
Come and teach me. Come here. Come on, love. Here we go. If you're watching on Periscope, this really is. I mean, this is what the internet was made for.
There was also
you need to stand there, right? A sailor went to sea to see what he could see.
No.
What?
3 together.
But why?
But then you get faster.
All right. This is easy. A sailor went to sea to see what he could see, but all that he could see was the bottom of the deep blue sea. What a load of rubbish.
You couldn't do it.
I did it.
You did it wrong.
Balls, did I do it wrong? You did it wrong.
You did it wrong.
I did it fine. 0344 499 1000.
You hurt me, actually. That's hard slapping.
Hard slapping. Seen that film. Yes, Hannah.
Well, I was going to ring up with the answer, but the person before got it, didn't they?
Well, then why did you stay on the line?
Oh, I can still say hello.
Sheer damned arrogance.
I feel bad. My mum's.
It's a glove, you dick.
I mean, she's. I mean, it really is that kind of attitude is.
That's where you get it from now.
Well, that's why we put her in a home. Now. She's perfectly fine. It's just that I could not stand that attitude anymore, so we made up this whole backstory about an illness and all kinds of
Just that potty mouth.
Bits and pieces. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Do we know any more about the situation in Manchester?
Right, now the police in Manchester are saying that they're attending a serious incident, but the advice remains the same, stay away. Okay. And we don't have any... I mean, as you know, Twitter's going nuts and there are all kinds of things. Someone's circulating a fake picture. It's getting ridiculous. So we're holding back until we know... what's going on?
We've all got our ideas in our head of what has happened, but we literally don't know any more than that. So, you know, we're not... what's Sky's slogan? Never wrong for long.
Well, it used to be. I'm sure it's not that anymore.
Now that they're our paymasters.
Exactly.
But so, you know, just if you're in Manchester, you won't need to go to the arena at this time of night. So just stay away. Let's let them sort it out. And as soon as we have facts, dear listener, we will give you the facts. Of course. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Now, an interesting thing. When I did manage to pull you off from your computer where you were working and stop you watching that.
I mean, literally pulled me off. Because he got hold of my wheelie chair and dragged me across the room.
I really did.
Yeah.
And it was physical abuse.
Yeah, it was harassment.
No two ways around it. You could totally file a lawsuit against me and the bosses of Talk Radio, although apparently, you know...
I'll just add it to my file.
People have got away with a lot worse. What? 0344 499 1000. He said, just completely lost where he was. Oh, yeah. So then we were kind of kicking around ideas for topics. And I said, come on, just give me a topic. Give me a topic. And you threw out one that I had been thinking about a few hours before, but I thought it was so ridiculous and so far-fetched that we can never do it. But then you said it.
Yeah, men who look like Mike Parry. Because my favourite website of all time is probably Men Who Look Like Kenny Rogers.
Yes, which is a great website.
It's great, and it's just full of men.
And of course, we all know that Liam Gallagher called what did he call Mike Parry? A cheap rate Kenny Rogers.
Well, amongst other things, yeah.
That's the one we can broadcast.
Very harsh treatment of an elderly man.
But I thought of it because as I was driving down Marylebone Road in London, I saw a guy, a wee fella, with grey hair and shorts. And I thought, is that Mike Parry? She was on the other side. Is that Mike Parry? And I just drove past it, and I genuinely thought, it's Mike Parry.
Did he look like Father Christmas on holiday?
Yes, he did.
Right, okay.
And he had the glasses, he had the beard, he had the hair. You could tell he was walking with an attitude, an air of arrogance,
swagger,
and perhaps slight, it's like inebriation. And I thought, is that Mike Parry? And honestly, it became apparent it wasn't because he was with someone, implying he had a friend. But the look was incredible. So what? And I don't really know how we're going to do this on the radio. Do you know what? We've got a break coming up, and I'm going to Google a picture of Mike Parry, and I'm going to post it on Twitter at Iain Lee. Okay, and we need here's what we need. We need a cool hashtag, 0344 499 1000. So you can play this even if you haven't got Twitter. We need a cool hashtag that can catch the world alight, that can bring us listeners.
Just like Mike.
It's a bit pony. I mean...
I thought that's beautiful.
Well, I know you did, but I'm...
And Mike alike.
I'm going to say no because you came up with it, but I might come up with it in a little bit.
Of course you will.
0344 499 1000. Follow me at Iain Lee on Twitter. We're going to get all of the Mike Parry lookalikes in the world together in, this is what we need to do. We need to get them all to turn up here one day. And just Mike will be so confused. He won't know if it's he.
Mike Graham will think he's having some sort of moment.
Parry will be so confused that his brain will short circuit and he'll think he's not Mike Parry and he'll go home. Genius. 0344 499 1000. Late nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late night Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Let's just clarify again. So the police have reported an incident.
And now they're saying a serious incident.
A serious incident at the Manchester arena. Now, part of me feels we should say, well, if you were there, then give us a call. But I'm also aware that by doing that would open up people who weren't there to phone up and pretend they were there, because some people get a kick from that. So I'm going to kind of... I'm going to say, because it's a phone-in show and something has happened. Oh, no, let's be honest. If you're involved in a serious incident, I would be very, very surprised if you were listening to us. But if you were at the Manchester Arena, why is it called the MEN Arena?
Because it used to be the Manchester Evening News Arena.
Did it? Is it not anymore?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I'm not sure. But people still know it as that.
And who is playing tonight?
Ariana Grande.
Now, who is she? What does she sing?
She sings. She's done a thing with Nicki Minaj. She's some.
Who is she? What does she sing? I don't know any of these people. Right. Okay. If you were there, and you heard or you saw something, then you are very welcome to give us a call. 0344. Of course, you're welcome to give us a call. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. We will call you back. And we're kind of, trusting your honesty that you were genuinely there and that you saw or heard something, and you're not yanking our proverbial, so to speak, because I don't want to unnecessarily panic people, and I don't want to unnecessarily spread fear and stuff, but we'll see what happens. And Catherine has a computer in front of her and is monitoring all of the news outlets, and as soon as we get facts, actual facts, then we will let you know what's happened. Does that sound fair enough?
Yeah, I think so.
And you can still phone in about, the silly stuff. Let me go through the silly stuff, guys. Let me go through the silly stuff. The slapsies. Why does your family hate you? Or why do you hate your family? 0344 499 1000. Kids, things that you do as an adult. Hang on a minute. We're getting a little update.
We've got a police statement on the incident.
Here we go. Let's have the police statement.
This is from Greater Manchester Police,
yes,
saying that emergency services are currently responding to reports of an explosion at Manchester Arena. There are a number of confirmed fatalities and others injured. Please avoid the area as first responders work tirelessly at the scene. Details of a casualty bureau will follow as soon as possible.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah.
Just read that again, because that's
Emergency services are currently responding to reports of an explosion at Manchester Arena. There are a number of confirmed fatalities and others injured. Please avoid the area as first responders work tirelessly at the scene. Details of a casualty bureau will follow as soon as possible.
Okay, so that I imagine that means that there will be a phone number that will be given out at some point, that people, if you had friends or family that were off to see Ariana Grande there, then I'm sure we will get that phone number. And as soon as we have that phone number,
we'll put that out.
We will put that out. Okay, well, we know that something very, very serious has happened in that case. So if you were there, or if you... it's come back to collect his phone. If you were there, or if you have family or friends who are there, then you are very welcome to give us a call. 0344 499 1000. I feel that we should speak to somebody.
Yeah,
do you
let me
go and do some stuff and see if you can get us somebody who is there, or somebody who is nearby, or maybe someone from the police who can let us know what's going on. We're all making up, of course, our own stories and filling in our own blanks as to what may or may not have happened. We know it's an explosion, and we know that there are people that have died. That explosion, of course, could be anything. It could be a bit of technical equipment, or it could be something more sinister. And so we're going to hold off jumping to any conclusions before we go any further. I think we should perhaps just slow the tone of the show down ever so slightly, just in case, this is, who knows. We'll still take your phone calls. Don't worry, it's still okay to phone in about some of the silly stuff, but we're going to dip in and out of what's happened, and Catherine and Ed are beavering away now to try and find some grown-ups who can tell us what is going on. And so do stay tuned to us on Talk Radio, online, on DAB, on what else are we on? Smartphone app. And as soon as we have any facts, we will let you know what they are. A moment, a silence, a clunky gear change. Let's go to Paul. Evening, Paul.
Hi. Yeah, let's just take a moment of silence, shall we?
Well, Yeah.
Doesn't make good radio, does it? I know.
No, but you're absolutely right. People have died tonight when they didn't need to die.
I wouldn't actually say that. I think we don't know that for sure yet.
Well, no, we do. Police have said that there have been fatalities, plural. So
okay,
we do know.
I've got on silent just the BBC News on 24-hour news on the telly, but
yeah, well, it's whatever happens.
They haven't reported that yet.
Whatever happens, someone isn't coming back from a pop concert that should be. So we will. I can see Catherine and Ed are beavering away. We'll get someone on soon who can perhaps give us a little bit more of an idea as to what has happened.
I'm sure. I understand you've got a report. You're trying to report the latest news, but trying to do it in a responsible way.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's what we want.
Because this BBC 24-hour news do these things sometimes when things like this happen, and so does Sky News do it in an irresponsible way, I think.
Oh, I agree that a lot of news outlets do. I'm in a slightly different position because I'm not a journalist, but I did work at the BBC for 4 years, and I'm also aware that as we know, people have died. So, whatever it was, it's an horrific evening. It was a pop concert.
I know these news channels just have to fill time, basically, and they don't know what to...
Well, if I'm honest, Paul, I'm not totally sure which way I should be going. I think it's appropriate that we kind of slow the show down a bit. And the first hour and a half has been very loud and very fast and very frantic.
That was exactly my point, what I just said, wasn't it? 'Cause I said you were trying to be responsible.
And
I think have to cover something like this.
We do.
So you're trying to do it in a responsible way.
Well, yeah, we do. And it is only appropriate that we do it in a responsible way.
And if people have died, innocent people, then if we just make guesses and things like that, then it's a bit disrespectful to them, isn't it?
Yeah. We will get facts, and I can see phones being picked up and dialed and calls being made. So we will get facts, and we will let you know what has happened.
Okay, shall I try and make something a bit more light-hearted?
Well,
maybe?
let's have a go, Paul. And let's see how we get on. And I hope that people won't think that we're being disrespectful or anything.
I'm not going to be. It's perfectly sensible, but let's just change the subject for 10 seconds. Even if we ask anyone how the weather's been with them today.
Go on,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, right. You're going to New York.
Yes, we are going to New York.
Okay,
very
right.
exciting.
Do you know what I feel like doing? You sold one ticket for New York, yeah?
We have sold one out of 25 tickets for New York.
Do you know what okay, you don't want me to bump into you in our local Costa, do you?
No.
Do you know what I feel like doing?
Oh, no.
It's getting a ticket for your show and going to New York to see you there.
Oh, for goodness sakes. Because then I feel obliged to hang out with you.
Okay, I just want to say one final thing, right? Everyone's got to have a burger in New York, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I can suggest one.
You've suggested a burger place, haven't you?
No, it wasn't a burger place. That was an
oyster place.
That was a cocktail place on top of a hotel, but you don't drink alcohol. So everyone's got to have a burger.
Yeah, good burger.
Okay, can I suggest a place called Umami's?
Umami.
Yeah, okay.
Why is it so good? Yeah.
Okay, last time I went, I paid a visit there, right? Yeah. And I was with someone that was a vegetarian as well.
Oh, well, I'm not a vegetarian anymore.
No, okay. I thought I wasn't sure. I guessed that you might be.
I was for 26 years, and then I just started eating meat.
I thought Kath might have been vegetarian.
No, she loves a bit of meat.
And 2 veg.
Steady. Hey, steady.
Okay. There's this burger place. It's in Greenwich Village. You've got to visit Greenwich Village.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
It's in Greenwich Village, this place called Umami's.
Yeah.
This burger joint, and it does the best ever. There's this whole selection of burgers.
Yeah.
And it does these different fries as well. For example, the fries I had were sweet potato with bacon fries. They even do truffle fries.
What does that mean? What? I don't really know what a truffle is. I know that pigs dig them up.
Yeah, pigs, or you can train dogs to do it, yeah.
Can you?
Yeah, you can train a dog, yeah. People in this country, they have these massive estates all that, and have woodland. They have dogs that they train their dogs. Some dogs can be trained to do it.
But what is it? It's like an underground mushroom, is it?
Yeah, it's kind of it's a kind of fungi, I suppose. Yeah,
I'm a fungi. All right, Paul. Listen, thank you for that recommendation. I appreciate that. Let's go to. Oh no, I pressed the wrong thing here. Let's go to Dan. Evening, Dan.
G'day, Ian. It's Ruben Murdoch again. Just been looking at the radars.
Yes, I know it's disappointing. I'm sorry about that, sir, but I can turn it around.
I'm sure you can, Ian. Now, you know I put a lot of money into this station.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, sir.
I've been looking things over. The figures.
Yes.
Ian, you got a bit podgy. Calf, hubba.
Why, flippin' heck. Thank you very much
Now,
indeed.
I want to set out my stall.
Yes?
I'm thinking marketing.
Yes. Please, at last, yes.
Yes, let's give you marketing, Ian. I'm thinking fruit and veg for you. Kath can do the clothes at the end. I think it'll be really good stuff.
Okay.
And Ian, one more thing.
Yes.
It's not Rupert Murdoch.
What?
Yeah, it's me. It's me. It's Noel Edmonds.
Well, I'm cutting you off, Noel Edmonds. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. 0344 499 1000. I feel a little uncomfortable doing light-hearted stuff when this is going on. I mean, I don't really know I don't really know the vibe here. I don't really know what to do. We know that something horrible has happened in Manchester at the Manchester Evening News Arena, the MEN Arena. We know that there are fatalities. Beyond that, we don't know any specifics. We don't know the numbers. We don't know exactly what has happened. There have been reports of what people are calling an explosion. Again, you interpret that, you know, I know exactly where my head rushes to when I hear something like that, but we don't know what it was. And of course, all of the people that would be able to perhaps give us a little bit more insight into this story, the police and the local news reporters and all of that, they're kind of busy dealing with that. They're kind of busy, the police are busy saving people and getting people out there. All the other emergency services are busy doing that, and I guess that the local reporters are busy locally reporting. So I do kind of wonder where we take this show and what we do with the last hour of the show. I mean, I'm quite happy to carry. You know, this is the big comeback, guys. This is the big fight back. You know, the first couple of hours of the show have been full of vim and vigour, puff and bluster. And have all been very, funny and light-hearted and entertaining. It just feels a little bit wrong for me to kind of carry on doing that. But also, we haven't got, there won't be enough news, in inverted commas, to carry us through the next hour. So I'm a little bit at a loss. I'll go next door and talk to the team and see perhaps how we steer this ship. But I am aware that we are Talk Radio and we are national, and people will want to know what's happened. Let's go to Matt. Good evening, Matt.
Hi, Ian. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks, Matt. What have you got for us?
Well, I was going to call in. I decided I was going to call in and try and play you a song on my new piano, but I live in Manchester and I have just heard the news and I don't know what's going on, and I wondered if you had heard anything.
Well, I can, Catherine, if you could get on that microphone and just give us that police statement again, because that's the only fact that we've got, Matt, is this following police statement, and we're trying really hard to deal with the facts here. Because I don't want to. It will be so easy to go, well, we think this has happened, and we read this on Twitter, and I'm just interested in facts. So, Kath's got the police statement.
So this is what the police are saying. This is from Greater Manchester Police. Emergency services are currently responding to reports of an explosion at Manchester Arena. So, reports of an explosion. There are a number of confirmed fatalities and others injured. Please avoid the area as first responders work tirelessly at the scene. Details of a casualty bureau will follow as soon as possible. And we're putting in phone calls and trying to get someone who can find out more for us.
It sucks, doesn't it? That sounds awful.
It's just horrible. It's just, it suddenly brings it home, when you hear things happening in London, And again, I don't want to go down the route of assuming things, but, you hear about things going wrong in London and you think, oh, that's a long way, and not for you guys, but for me, I don't live there anymore, so... But then it suddenly comes home to you.
And I know Manchester has had. Well, again, I don't want to start hypothesising and things. We're all kind of heading in the same direction in our heads. But until we get some facts, Matt, listen, I've got to go. So come to the news. I appreciate you calling in. Sleep easy.
Loving the show. Keep
Thank
safe.
you, mate. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, Matt. sleep easy. If you are in Manchester and you want to let us know how you feel about all of this, you're very, very welcome to give us a call. I think that's kind of the direction we're heading. 0344 499 1000. Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Take a far-out trip into the twilight zone of late night radio with Ian Doo-Doo-Doo-Doo-Doo-Doo-Doo.
Unmissable late night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation.
Make contact with Iain Lee.
Late Night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
OK, so we know there is an incident in Manchester at the MEN Arena. We know that there have been reports of an explosion and at or after an Ariana Grande concert. No, me neither. And we know that people have died. We don't know how many people have died. We don't know what the explosion was. We don't know any of these things. May I make one suggestion? If you're following this on Twitter, the Manchester Evening News Twitter feed, they are there. They have people on the ground. They are calmly and responsibly reporting the facts. It is at MEN News Desk. They are there. They are reporting the facts as they happen, as opposed to a lot of other people who are reporting all kinds of stuff. So, you know, and it leaves us in this show in a slightly opposition, because I don't really know how to proceed. And there are lots of you on Twitter going, well, no, carry on. The brevity is important. And, we carry on doing the light-hearted stuff. It just doesn't feel quite right to me. And I suppose I have to follow that instinct. I'm also fully aware that while Catherine and Ed are pounding the telephones in an attempt to get a voice on, that they might not be able to. And also they, as someone who listens to a lot of phone-in shows and radio shows, I'm aware that quite often people come on who are experts about something and they don't bring anything new to the conversation, because really there is nothing new. I'll never forget, and I hope you don't mind this indulgence, when I was working at a BBC local radio station, I was broadcasting on a Saturday on the day that that Prince William and Catherine had their second baby, the day that the baby was born. And all through the show, I was thinking, please don't be born on, please don't let it be born on my 2-hour show. And she was. And we got a phone call from the boss saying, you need to get an expert on now. And she was a boss who didn't like me anyway. And didn't like the act. And there was absolutely no point in me arguing with her. So I said, OK, yeah, fine, let's get an expert. And my producer got an expert and put him on. And I said, well, I think the expert was called Richard. Well, Richard, it's a daughter. And he said, well, Ian, we don't know that for sure. That's the rumour, but we just don't know. And I said, no, Richard, it's a daughter. He said, well, Ian, it really is quite irresponsible. Those are the rumours going around, but until the baby is born, we just don't know what sex it is. And I said, Richard, you're the royal expert we've got on. The baby's been born, man. Didn't you know? He said, oh, well, if I'm honest, I did just pop to the toilet and I may have, let me turn on the TV. Oh, yes, the baby has been born. I was thinking, this is the expert, man, and he's getting it from watching the TV. And that tends to be the thing in all of these situations. So what benefit will it be to us? I don't know, but I know that the team are talking to all kinds of outlets, including Sky, and hopefully Sky will be able to provide us with someone. I'm watching it on the TV, and what do you get from the TV? I don't know. If you were there, if you know somebody who was there, or if you live in Manchester. I mean, we had the caller on before who said, well, these things only tend to happen in London, you know, and it does tend to be quite a London-based... I'm jumping to conclusions already. Look at me, and I'm trying not to play that game. Isn't it tough? Isn't it tough not to jump to conclusions? But we're all going to places in our head. Let's just pull back a bit, Lee. Pull back a bit, Lee. Let's try and get some facts on this. But if you are in Manchester and you want to give us a call and let us know how this makes you feel, seeing your city on the television for all of the wrong reasons, 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. And I think this is kind of the way we'll head tonight. I think it's appropriate, and I know that some of you will switch off because you're enjoying the shouting and the fun. We'll go back to the shouting and the fun tomorrow, maybe. How's about that, dear listener? 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. We'll have a look through the papers. I hadn't looked at the papers because I thought, well, we don't need to look at the papers because we're kind of cracking on with some golden topics. But we'll have a little look through the papers and see what we can find. And boy, oh boy, look, here we go. Vic Reeves is to fulfil a lifelong ambition by starring in Coronation Street. There we go. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Do you remember when the garlic bread guy, but Peter Kay was in a few episodes of Coronation Street, and it was absolutely brilliant, absolutely fantastic, proper. I mean, it was Coronation Street was. I don't know if it still is because I've not watched it for a long time. Coronation Street famously was a very, very funny show and had some incredible script writers on it. I suspect, like all of these things, it's got a little bit dry these days. I don't really know. But Peter Kay on there was just one of the fantastic episodes. I think it was a few episodes. Anyway, Vic Reeves might be doing it. According to the newspapers, which we always believe, don't we, guys? Comic Vic Reeves is to fulfil a lifelong ambition by starring in Coronation Street. You know that they're filming a new episode of Big Night Out for the BBC. Oh, that would be delicious, wouldn't it? That would be delicious. The 58-year-old... Jeez, we're all getting old, guys. We are all getting old, I tell you that. The 58-year-old shooting star's favourite, who is a huge fan of the ITV soap, will appear as a shopkeeper in 20 episodes. Vic begged producers for a part in 2015, even coming up with his own character. Oh! I saw them set this up today, because we watched a bit of Coronation Street. They set this up today. I didn't realise this was it. The long-lost son of nosy newsagent boss Norris Cole. Oh, they were setting that up. Norris was talking about that. How funny. How funny. He was never. The source said Vic's over the moon. It's his favourite show, and it's always been his dream to act in it one day. He's made up and can't wait to get stuck in. I do like Vic Reeves. Jim Moyer, who plays Vic Reeves, one of the nicest men. I've been, and I grew up watching Reeves and Mortimer, and I was absolutely blessed to spend a couple of afternoons in that gentleman's company. What a lovely bloke. Although he told me some very weird stories, including how he made a cup of tea for the Yorkshire Ripper, and how he was smiled at by, is it Dennis Nielsen? Smiled at by Dennis Nielsen. Vic's over the moon. He's made up and can't wait to get stuck in. He always said he preferred not to do a cameo role playing himself, so to get an actual part is just amazing. It's just what he wanted. Dad of four Vic, famed for his TV partnership with Bob Mortimer. Gosh. said his all-time favourite Corrie character is Mary Taylor. Vic and Bob are to revive the stage show Big Night Out. I cannot wait. Cannot wait for that. There we go. It's a nice tweet from Sam. I'm currently in a Manchester hotel alone, 200 miles from home. Can't sleep, missing family. Thanks to Ian and Kath for the company. Well, there you go. You see, that's what we do's. We should look through Twitter, see if there's anything that we need to know. No, there's nothing that we need to know. 0344. Oh, hang on, Kath. You want to come on? Kath is raising her eyes at me as if to say she has something to say. Go on, Kath.
No, do you want a rundown of what we know for sure? I've been looking across we're trying to get someone on, but obviously, it's very soon, and everyone's scrabbling around to try and find
Yeah,
word
for those
sure.
who may have just tuned in, there has been an incident at Manchester, and Catherine's going to give us the facts.
Yeah, so what we know, and I've had a look through the Manchester Evening News, a reliable source, and also, mainly from the police, and what the police are saying is that they are attending a serious incident at the Manchester Arena tonight. We know that Ariana Grande has been playing a concert there, and according to the Manchester Evening News, she just finished her performance when 2 loud bangs were reportedly heard. So that was between 10:40pm and 10:45pm. Police have since confirmed there have been a number of fatalities and injuries, and they say they'll be issuing details of a casualty helpline soon. There are also reports that some young people have been taken to the nearby Holiday Inn for safety.
Yes, that is important. That's in the Manchester Evening News have retweeted that if you are struggling to get hold of a young person, they've gone to the local. Some have been taken.
About 50 plus young people, unaccompanied people.
And if you're trying to get hold of someone who is there, and you won't be listening to this, but if you are, it will be a little bit chaotic, and phones might have been dropped, or phones might have been switched off, or. So don't jump to necessarily the worst conclusions if you can't get hold of people that you know are at the concert.
Also, don't look at Twitter, because it is full of people saying that they've seen all sorts, and there are already people who are kind of jumping on the bandwagon of this and using some awful old pictures of other incidents.
And our heads are, of course, because we are human, and because of our heads are all probably rushing to the same place. But what we are trying to do between now and 1 o'clock is just give you the facts, guys, because there is no point in us jumping to conclusions. And both, Kath worked at the BBC for 15 years, and I was there for 4 years. She's more trained than I am. But the part of that training was, don't start going, well, we think it could be this, or we think it could. We haven't got a clue. No one has got a clue at the moment, so we're just going to give you the facts.
All I can tell you is what the police are saying. They're saying a serious incident at that arena, and that they can confirm a number of fatalities and casualties. I'll give you that hotline number as soon as we get it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Catherine. And Catherine and Ed are both, I can see them constantly emailing and phoning up people, trying to get us some insight from somebody who perhaps knows a little bit more about the story than we do, maybe somebody who's actually in Manchester. But of course, all of those people are a little bit busy, kind of dealing with this situation. I do hope you keep listening to us. We're going to try and we'll carry on, and I'm going to gently look through the newspapers, and I promise you, as soon as we have any more facts, and as soon as we have that police hotline that they are setting up now, as soon as we have any more of that stuff, we will give it to you, okay? What we're not going to do between now and 1 is we're not going to hypothesise. We're not going to well, what could this be? Because we all know what it could be. It could also be something completely different. And that kind of language, that kind of game doesn't get us anywhere. So, dearie me. I'm getting people sending really nasty texts through. What is the minds of some people? That text from that person ending 8234. Why would you send that in? How is that funny? People sending us joke texts, guys. Jeez, we're going to give you the facts, okay? If you are in Manchester, or you're from Manchester, or whatever, I tell you what we can do. You don't have to be from or live in, or if you just want to phone in and just let us know how you're feeling this evening, we'll certainly take that phone call. 0344 499 1000. If people are a bit slow answering the phones, it's simply because they are phoning out other people. Okay, is that a deal? Right. Good. You're listening to Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late Night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Well, if you're just tuning in, there has been an incident at the Manchester MEN Arena. There is, I don't know if we have a definite. I've heard of there was one explosion, there possibly two explosions, but we have certainly heard from the police who are there that there have been fatalities. Fatality is a word that are only used by journalists and in news stories. People have died. We don't know how many. We don't know what caused it. But we do know that something pretty rotten has happened and that people have died. The police are setting up a hotline number, but that's obviously taking a little while to set up. As soon as we have that telephone number, dear listener, of course, we will give it to you. Catherine, my producer, and Ed are frantically dialing out and phoning people and emailing people. In an attempt to get someone who is in Manchester who can possibly give us some more information on the story to come on the air and share that information with you. Until then, what we're not going to do is we're not going to play a guessing game. We're not going to hypothesise. We're not going to jump to any conclusions because that serves zero purpose whatsoever. We are just going to give the facts. Right, at the moment, that means there's not a lot more I can say because I haven't got the facts. Catherine, can you give us that police, for want of anything new, just in case someone has tuned in, come in and give us that police statement. I should just say as well, if you want to follow people on Twitter, the two that I would thoroughly recommend are at GM Police, the Greater Manchester Police, at GM Police, because they are there, and also at MEN News Desk, because they are both, there's the Manchester Evening News, and it is the Greater Manchester Police, and they are there. They're the only people you need to follow if you want to get up to the minute news on this. Catherine, do you want to give us that statement again? Because there is... This
is it. Other than wild speculation, this is the sensible voice on Twitter at the moment,
Yes.
Greater Manchester Police. Also, the Manchester Evening News are doing a sterling job there as well, has to be said, so follow those guys. Greater Manchester Police issued a statement some 37 minutes ago talking about this incident at the Manchester Arena. They're saying emergency services are currently responding to reports of an explosion at Manchester Arena. There are a number of confirmed fatalities and others injured. So they're saying please avoid the area as first responders work tirelessly at the scene, and they will be issuing details of a casualty bureau soon.
Let me stop you there because I believe we have an eyewitness, Isabel. Isabel, how do I say your last name?
No, it's a recording.
It's a recording, is it? Okay, well, let's listen to that.
Well, the concert had finished and we were all leaving, and then there was a big bang to our left, and then everybody just ran away from that immediate area. So we didn't know what had happened, but then nobody was really, people were screaming and running, but then it kind of died down. So we didn't know if a balloon had gone off because balloons had been released in the concert, so we didn't know if it was that. And then everybody was panicking, they was pushing up the stairs, people were obviously running, climbing down and over the chairs. And then as we got out, just everybody was screaming and crying, and then the corridor was full, it smelled of burning, and there was quite a lot of smoke as we were leaving in the corridor, and an area had been blocked off so you couldn't go any further, but we managed to get out quite quickly, and then there was just lots of police and ambulances arriving as we were leaving.
Okay, that's eyewitness Isabel Hodgins, who's speaking to Sky News earlier on. Now, Ariana Grande, she's like a pop star.
She is, yeah, she's a 20-something. I think she's from, the Disney Club School of...
So that arena is, what does the MEN hold up? I think it's 13,000.
It's going to be full of kids.
It's going to be packed full of little girls, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it? And we're not jumping to conclusions. But I must admit, when we talked about taking my boys to see the Beach Boys at the Royal Albert Hall on Friday, and I must admit, the night before, I was there was a part of me that was thinking, well, what if something happened there? What if something, if there was an incident of whatever kind, whether it was an accident or deliberate or whatever, what if something happened there?
But I think that's the climate we live in at the moment. And whenever I take my kids, or if ever I go to something where there's a big crowd of people in an enclosed space, I think that is always at the back of your mind. Same as if you go on an aeroplane these days.
Yeah,
you know.
It really is. Sky are constantly showing this little 20-second clip of people leaving the arena, and it's full of pink balloons, and it is it's little girls. She's a little girls pop star. I don't mean that in a derogatory term at all. The best pop star, the Beatles were little girls pop stars. Have you been handy something?
No, I mean, I'm just in contact with the boss at the moment, so he's trying to help us to find someone to speak. But obviously, everyone is really busy and things are unfolding. We are going to give you that casualty hotline as soon as we have it. Obviously, people are concerned for their loved ones if they've gone out tonight in that area, because they're talking about keeping you away from not only the Manchester arena itself, but also the local area. Also, I have to say that the Manchester Evening News have reposted this Facebook post saying that the Holiday Inn have taken in a number of people, 50 plus children that are alone or without a guardian at the moment. So that's another place to try if you are waiting for news for someone who's gone out. But that casualty hotline is the one, and keep your eyes on what Greater Manchester Police are saying tonight.
Where is the Emmy? Because we were in Manchester recently. I love Manchester, and it's so easy to knock Manchester. In fact, in the thing we recorded earlier on, I was jokingly mocking Manchester because it's easy to do.
Yeah, but actually Manchester, when we went there last time around, showed its colours, didn't it?
Oh, didn't it just? I never get, you know, I love Liverpool, I love Manchester, I love all these places. I think they're brilliant, and it's just easy to knock. But Manchester is a cracking place, but I don't know where the arena is in relation to the city centre. I'm guessing it's kind of slightly out of the city centre, in the same way that Wembley Arena and the O2 Arena, are out quite some way out, actually.
If I remember rightly, it's out towards Castlefield, but let me just check that. Because I moved away from Manchester when I was 10, so I've got kind of 10-year-olds.
What you're listening to, dear listener, by the way, this is Iain Lee on Talk Radio. Catherine's in with me, and you're listening to, partly we're filling, because I think we've decided to leave the froth and frivolity that we were having earlier on. That was a lot of fun, but it's appropriate that I think that we focus on this. And we are trying to get a reporter or somebody who is there that can give us a little bit more information. Although I'll be honest, there ain't no more information until the police give out a phone number or another statement. Everyone, whoever we get on, is going to say the same thing that we've been saying. We've got Sky News on; they're saying exactly the same thing. The thing that we won't do, and if you want this, please go and listen to another radio station or go and listen to an internet radio station, because we're not going to do it. We're not going to jump to conclusions. We are not going to be pointing the finger. Listen, we all know where our heads have gone, and it might be that, it might not be that. It probably is that, but I'm really keeping my fingers. It's something. Fingers crossed. It is something else and something less sinister. Okay. So what we're not going to do for the next 33 minutes is hypothesise and guess and link it with other incidents that may have happened around the week. That's not our game here. And if you want that, then please go somewhere else.
So the Manchester Arena, it is where I thought it was. It's near the Printworks, which is, got cinemas and it's got all kinds there. So it is in a kind of, it's where people go to have a good time, in that kind of area of Manchester.
Someone's saying the arena was very close to where you were, Ian, and where I am now.
Yeah.
The arena's near Victoria Station, only a short walk from Piccadilly. It's a big name.
And in fact, we're hearing that it is having an impact already on travel around that area at the station.
Of course it is. I bet it is. Everything is absolutely chock-a-block in...
But the best thing to do if you're not involved in this is just stay well clear and let them crack on.
Yeah. I just keep thinking... and we don't know how many people have died. Fatalities is the word that was used, so that's plural. Mm-hmm. I keep thinking back to the pop concert that I was at Friday, and the joy and celebration that pop music brings us and brings young people. Well, it makes old people like me feel young. But pop music and pop concerts like that, when it's 12, 13, 14,000 people, however many it may be, is a real celebration of joy and of life. You know, pop music is about joy and about life and about that moment. And for a lot of those people there, that will be the first ever gig they've been to. Imagine the first ever gig they've been to.
Some of them will be due at school tomorrow.
Yeah. And hang on a minute, what are they doing going to a pop concert on a school
Well, there'll
night?
be a treat, won't it? And this is the thing,
Terrible.
right? From what we're hearing from the reports, it happened once she'd gone off stage. She'd been off stage for 30 seconds or so.
Right.
So just that elation of the end of the concert,
Yeah.
and then this happens.
Yeah, and pop. This is what pop concerts are. It's so easy to knock pop, and I couldn't. A pop concert like that, and I love those big concerts where it's 10,000 plus people crammed into an arena, because the joy that you get, the excitement, you can feel it. You can feel it. You can feel the joy that you get. It's great being at a pop concert with kids. I love it.
And that shared experience with hundreds of other people.
Oh yeah. It's all
wonderful.
about that. But listen, we are filling. Let's be honest. I think you may have guessed we are filling, because we don't want to. We don't want to guess. We don't want to speculate. And I can see that Ed is frantically emailing and phoning people. Catherine is frantically phoning and emailing people. Hopefully, we'll get someone on. Let's be honest. They're only going to say what we've said, because that's all that's out there at the moment. But in these situations, this is what this kind of show does. If you are in Manchester, if you're just feeling a little bit discombobulated and you want to make contact with another human being, I kind of get that. I'm happy to be that human being. If you want to give us a call and just check in, and you know, I know that a lot of people listen to this show at home on their own, and normally it is a connecting thing, and we all kind of connect, and I get that vibe as well. But perhaps tonight you're listening at home alone and you're feeling a little bit alone. If you just want to phone up and just say hello, you'd be very welcome to, 0344 499 1000. If you don't want to, if you just want to sit at home and listen, that's groovy as well. You're listening to Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late Night Iain Lee. Unfiltered night talk with the original king of unconventional conversation on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
I am Iain on the radio, and you are listening to Late Nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio. Catherine has joined me in the studio.
Yeah.
It's one of those shows where I don't really know what we're supposed to do. I know the etiquette because I've heard enough of these shows, and I know which way we're supposed to go. But we are. There has been an incident in Manchester. You just give us the facts. But by the way, people using this as an opportunity to call me out for political correctness and all this nonsense. No.
It's called correctness.
It's called correctness. It's called dealing with facts. Okay, and we are dealing with facts.
Okay.
Go on, give us what you got.
So this is the police statement, and this is the latest that we've got from the Greater Manchester Police. Emergency services are currently responding to reports of an explosion at Manchester Arena. There are a number of confirmed fatalities and others injured. Please avoid the area as first responders work tirelessly at the scene. Details of a casualty bureau will follow as soon as possible. Now, what we know, in addition to that, from the Manchester Evening News, is that that it seems to have happened between 10:40 p.m. and 10:45, just as Ariana Grande finished her performance there. 2 loud bangs reportedly heard at that time. And that's it, really. We know that a number of concert goers have been killed. We know that other people have been injured. We know that there are knock-on effects in the area around it. It's quite near to Victoria Station. The trains have been affected. Other than that, it's a matter of staying away if you don't need to be anywhere near there, and the police saying that they're going to issue the number of a casualty hotline as soon as they can. So that's it. That's the fact of it.
And that's what we're going to be dealing with, the facts, guys. But if you just want to phone in and check in and say you're right. Now, look, I've just had an email from, but let's say a friend of mine, and completely not connected to this story at all. And he's just sent me an email because he's reaching out because he is, as he says in his email, he's feeling shit. And I've just, I don't know if he's listening. If you're listening, I've just tried to reply, but because of where you are, and I'm being deliberately vague, but because of where you are, I don't think that email is sending out. So I don't know if you're listening, but I've got your email. And I'm trying to reply to it, but it is. I can see it sitting in my outbox on my computer. Let me just try sending that again. And it's someone I've got a lot of time and respect for, and he's going to think that I've not replied because for some reason that won't go out because he's somewhere where I bet they've got a very strict firewall. No, see, it won't go out. It won't go out. I do apologise, but it's someone I'm very close to, and it breaks my heart to see that. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Ed is frantically phoning and ringing round and dialing all kinds of people to see if we can get them on the show. But I'm going to be honest, they're just going to come on and say exactly the same thing that we've said. Oh, look, now our internet's gone down. It's certainly not working for me. Dearie me. Okay. But if you just want to check in and say, you know what, I'm feeling a little bit freaked out by this, that's absolutely cool. You know, I think we're all feeling a little bit freaked out by this. I hope that you appreciate that we're trying to calm down the level of freakiness that is going on. Although, is your internet gone down?
So far, so good, but it's a matter of time, Ian.
Because mine is... oh, no, I think those emails have gone out. Okay. I think those emails have gone out. That's good.
I'm just looking, Sky reporting that
Go on.
You've got bomb disposal units at the scene at the moment, and there are ballistics officers at present. They're trying to push people further back from the cordon as well. Here's
the latest from the Manchester Evening News on their Twitter feed, and I think we can rely on them to be pretty hot. Gig goers killed after explosion. They have that in inverted commas at Manchester Arena. These are the live updates. 2 loud explosions were reportedly heard around 10:40. I just saw the word that it was that apparently the explosion was in the foyer, but now I can't see that. Here we go. Yes, this is on the Twitter. Breaking reports the explosion was, quotes, in foyer of arena.
Those are unconfirmed reports at this point, so we'll...
Unconfirmed reports.
We'll keep an eye on that. We're still waiting for that casualty number from Greater Manchester Police, but I'm sure it'll come as
Here's the thing.
As
let's have a rare moment of honesty. In all honesty, I don't think we're going to get any further with this between now and 1 o'clock, OK? So the next... The radio self-harm, but the next 20 so minutes, are the 2 mics on tonight? They were on last week. The 2 mics are on, so they'll pick up the story, and they are both old news heads, so their take on this will be much more forthright, I'm sure, than my shilly-shallying. But here's my prediction. For the next 23 minutes, we ain't going to get much further than this. We might get a voice on. I can see Ed is on the phone to someone. We might get a voice on. They're not going to be able to tell us more than we know now, because there is no more that we know now. So if you want to switch off and go to bed, or if you want to go and make a cup of cocoa in anticipation of the 2 mics, then you are, who are, been doing this way longer than me, then you are very welcome to. I won't consider it rude if you switch off Periscope or you go, well, yeah, you know what, I think we've heard enough for this evening. But if you do want to stay listening to a calm and measured accounting of the facts, and let's be honest, 2 people filling on air, because that's what we're doing until we get more facts, until we get that phone number from the police of the and there will be a phone number to phone up if you're worried that people may have been injured. Until we get that, there is nothing more to say.
I would say that, having been looking on Twitter tonight, it really has brought out both the best and the worst in people, as usual. We found this a few weeks ago when the incident in London happened, that Twitter gets used for, people reaching out and saying that if you want somewhere safe to go, here I am, and all this kind of stuff. Also warnings. Apparently there are reports of some taxis or people posing as taxi drivers. We don't know whether they are real taxi drivers offering to take people home for free. Obviously, you don't want to do anything that you wouldn't do if you weren't in the middle of an incident like this. So, there are people taking advantage of the confusion to either make mischief or worse. So just be very careful with what you retweet and stuff on Twitter, because there are people speculating, there are people just plain making stuff up.
What a delightful phrase there, making mischief.
Yeah, but there is mischief going on.
There absolutely is. And it's terrible that these things kind of happen, but yeah, what a lovely phrase, making mischief. And there are, so stop it is the... Stop it is the thing, if you want. You're listening to Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Well, you're listening to Iain Lee on Talk Radio in another 15 minutes or so, and then it'll be the two mics who, let's be honest, have between them have got about 150 years on me in terms of their broadcasting expertise, and they are a couple of old news hacks, so they will have a different take on this, and no doubt will be far more robust. For those who don't know, for those who have just tuned in anticipation of the two mics, there has been an incident at the MEN Arena. There is reports of one explosion. There are reports of two explosions. We don't know, but we do know that some people have died. I'm not going to use the word fatalities because no one says that in real life. But we have it from the police that some people have died. We don't know how many people. We don't know if there are people injured, but one can assume that. And we don't know what has caused it. Those are the facts. And we're trying to deal in the facts. Jamie's called in. Good evening, Jamie.
Hiya.
Hey, man. What have you got?
I'd just like to start by sending my thoughts and prayers to everyone involved tonight.
Okay.
And it's just made me think I'm supposed to be going to Paris in July to see Guns N' Roses, and I don't know if I want to.
Well, I can understand that, as while this is all going on, I would suggest that tonight is not the night to make that decision.
I'm not making a decision, but I mean, I've been panicking about it as it is, and I don't know, this all kind of... I don't know. It's just horrible.
It is. It's
so horrible.
It's horrific. But again, we don't know. You know, we're all racing to one conclusion. We don't know what's happened.
Well, it's the foyer, so I mean, it could be a gas explosion or anything, couldn't it? There's food outlets there.
We don't know. My one thought would be that Paris is probably one of the safest places in the world right now. You know, in terms of police and military observation, I would have thought. Why did you choose to go to Paris to see them? Are they not playing in England?
To see Guns N' Roses is like a dream come true.
And this is proper Guns N' Roses with Slashback in it, is it?
Proper Guns N' Roses.
Not that tribute band that Axl Rose was touting around for about 20 years.
What? Google DJ Ashba and Bumblefoot. You're into guitar. Their guitar work is incredible.
I'm not going to Google anyone called Bumblefoot, but isn't that in Harry Potter? But why? But so this is proper Guns N' Roses, as they used to be called when I was a kid, Guns N' Effing Roses. Why Paris to go and see them, and why not here?
I looked at tickets for London and I just could not afford it, and I thought, that's it, I can't see them. And then my friend messaged me and said, Jamie, I've broken up with my girlfriend and I've got a spare ticket.
Wow. And so did you get freebie?
Freebie and accommodation and...
Wow. Out of what's that quote on the syrup? Out of something comes great beauty, or something. So out of their at the
adversity.
End of their relationship failing, you've got yourself a free ticket.
Top result.
You've got a result, Jamie. Listen, and when is it? What date is it?
July 7th.
Oh, listen, plenty of time. Let's wait. Let's see what's going on here. But just remember this: there are pop concerts and rock concerts all over the world every single day. There are thousands going on every single day of the week. So they don't end up like this.
And it's my first ever gig, so I've got to try and enjoy it.
It's your first ever gig.
Yeah.
Mate, you're doing it in style, going to Paris to see Guns N' Effing Roses.
I can't wait, I'm so excited.
I bet you are, mate. Well, listen, here's my suggestion. Switch off the radio, go to bed.
Well, I'm going to finish listening to you then I'll go to bed.
No, I wouldn't even. It's only another. I wouldn't even bother. Switch it off because we're only going to be talking about this. Switch it off. Go to bed and have a look and see what's been going on tomorrow. Do that.
I'll go to sleep with some rabbit holding.
There we go, you see. Thank you very much indeed, Jamie. There we go. With some what? Some nugget holding.
Rabbit holing.
Rabbit hole. Oh, well, good lad, you know. And this concert, this Ariana Grande?
Yeah, Grande.
I don't know the young lady. I'll have to have a listen. This would have been the first concert for, so many of the kids that were there, and I don't say kids in a derogatory term. She is apparently a little girl's pop star.
Kind of. She's a bit naughty, so there'll be older people there as well. Yeah,
is she?
She's done that thing that little Disney starlets
She's grown
do.
up. She's tried to grow up. Well, good for her. The growing up never. Never really works, does it? The growing up never seems to... do you need to go and talk to Ed?
No, I'm just saying there's another witness statement coming through, so we'll have that in a couple of seconds.
We'll have that. That'll be interesting. What
you were saying was the growing up never quite works for them. It's all a bit forced, isn't it?
Yeah, and they all try it.
Miley's calming down again, isn't she?
I think it works better for the girls than it does for the boys, because the girls can take clothes off. When the boys do it, they look silly.
It's only, Justin Timberlake managed it.
Well, yes, this is old. I'm thinking of when David Cassidy tried it and he got laughed at. But this would have been a really big night for a lot of, not any concert. I've been to concerts where it's like, oh, I'm here. But it would have been a really big night for a lot of the people in the Manchester Evening News Arena. Off the top of my head, I think it holds about 13,000, but I'm prepared to be proved wrong. And it would have been the first concert for a lot of people. I think we've got a clip now. This is an eyewitness. Is it?
Yeah, this is courtesy of Sky News. It's a woman called Jenny. Yeah.
Jenny Brewster speaking to Sky News.
It was distressing. I took my daughter of 11. This was her first concert. We went. We had a great night. And as Ariana Grande was singing her last song, which was "Dangerous Woman," my daughter was tired and she needed the bathroom. And she said, "Can we just go outside now?" And so we did. We went to the bathroom and then we said, let's go now before the rush. So we walked towards where the MEN car park is, where we were parked. And there was a row of stewards stood in a line, stopping us, getting through. But they were very friendly and they said, this isn't your best way, girls. You're best turning round and you can get to your car park that way. As I turned round, boom, one loud noise. And then for the first 10 seconds, we thought about it and we just walked with haste. And then a gentleman said, "Run!" So we ran and we walked we walked quickly down the stairs. That's when people were flooding through the concert doors. And the sound was definitely coming from the main foyer. Where the guests normally enter through and present their tickets. On exiting the building, we then saw crowds of people and children devastated. We went to the car, which was 10 seconds away. As soon as we got to the car, you could smell the burning. Coming out then was quite a fluid operation. There were people around us. The children were devastated. We could see police running in front of our car, people, emergency services with huge red backpacks on them running into the building. But we did manage to get away, all within about 3 or 4 minutes. But it was devastating.
Jenny Brewster, an eyewitness, she was there speaking to Sky News, and it sounds absolutely horrific.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrific.
And while we were listening to that, I just got word in my ear that Mark White, who is Sky News correspondent there on the scene, says that the North West Counter-Terrorism Unit is now treating this as a possible terrorist incident.
Man alive.
Those poor kids.
Well, bite my tongue. until we know for sure.
Yeah, we don't know.
I mean, if I can't bite my tongue. If it were that, why would you target kids? Why would you target kids? Why would you target? Why would kids? Kids.
Little girls, especially.
What? Children? Actual children? Why? I can't get my head around that. Flippin' heck. Little girls. Well, little girls. Well, if you are still listening, I don't know why, but you're very, very welcome. There's another 4 minutes of this, then we'll have some adverts, then we'll have the news, and then it'll be the two Mikes, who I'm confident will be looking at this with the vim and vigour with which they are famous for. And I do enjoy the two Mikes. I won't particularly enjoy it this evening, but I do think they are two excellent broadcasters, and they'll certainly be doing it in a slightly different way to the way that we've done it, with the greatest respect. There it is on the news. Look, the police are saying it's a possible terror incident. Little girls. Jeez. I mean... It just doesn't... Some tough guys out there, huh? Some tough guys.
Possibly.
All
we
right,
don't know.
Thank you. You're absolutely right. I'm falling down that trick.
And let's remember a couple of things as well. There are people all over Twitter at the moment who
Yes.
are in the Manchester area offering people a safe
Yep,
place to go
yep,
and have
yep,
a cup
yep.
of tea and calm down.
Yep.
The local hotels are taking people in and allowing kids to stop there while they wait for their mums and dads to pick them up. You know, people are reaching out in the best possible way, as we've noticed the people of Manchester did with us when we had, something that was comparatively minuscule,
Yeah.
but we were in a crisis point, weren't we? And the people of Manchester came out for us, didn't they? So I have every confidence.
Not in
that
any
there are
way to compare the two.
No, not at all.
But
But what I'm saying is
little,
that is the
thing.
sort
Yep.
of city where people will muck in.
Yeah,
and it seems that they're doing that now.
Oh, it's good, Manchester. I love Manchester, but it's an absolute. And we'll be back there. We'll be back there at the end of July, and we should be back there proudly. I'm sorry. I'm just reminded of Philip Schofield. What was he doing at the weekend? Putting his thumbs
down to knife crime.
And it's him with like a sad face doing. Well, that's that solved, Philip. Thanks, Pip. That's that.
I mean, when will his endeavours end? He's walked over a bridge and he's put his thumb down.
Just imagine, there's some kid at home who's about to go out and they're putting their knife in their boot. Is that where they keep them? Then they're just going to, oh no, Pip's put his. You know what?
He's
I'm
right.
going to leave this knife. I do wonder. Listen, this is the end of this show. Ed, thank you. Catherine, excellent and sterling work as per usual. If you want to be updated, then do keep listening to Talk Radio, because the two Mikes will be on, Mike Graham and Mike Parry, and they are grizzled old bears, and I'm sure they will grab this story a lot more aggressively than I have felt comfortable doing, and I suspect that we may be talking about this tomorrow evening as well, which we'll see how it goes. We'll judge the mood tomorrow, but I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I think that may be the way to go. Just a reminder: try and stay safe. If you are in bed with someone that you love, then give them a hug, and even if they're asleep, whisper in their ear. All that kind of stuff that we forget is important, but is actually important. Dearie me. We'll be back tonight at 10 o'clock. Thank you very much for listening. No.